Hey guys, how's it going? So, for today's stream, I wanted to jump in and do Nahida's story quest. I was thinking, depending on how long it takes, this is probably going to be a shorter stream today because I have to be up really early tomorrow. We might also try and finish up Nilou's quest as well because we did have to go through part of it. Off stream, I did finish off Tainari's and Cyno's. They were kind of interesting, just because during the story slash Archon quest we did yesterday, I kept getting stopped because of that. So I'm hoping that isn't the case here, because I do think there's a genuine chance that Nilou shows up in Nahida's quest. And so I think that's what kind of blocks it out with these and then world quests. I know there's also this Golden Slumber world quest. I don't know how long it is, so again, I'm just going to play it by ear, see what happens after we do each kind of part of this, but I figured we'd hop into it. As for next weekend's stream, since I don't usually stream during the week anymore, I don't know what I'll go with, just because Genshin's a bit of a hard game, even just weekly, I think, to find something interesting to do. I like to do the story quests and like character quests and maybe hangout events. I don't know if Layla will have a hangout quest on the next banner, so we might try that. But as for this weekend, I might go ahead and finally finish like our last 4 Ascension quests in Xenoblade 3, or maybe we'll go back into some other roguelikes, because that's what I usually play. But we'll just see. Either way, let's hop into this character quest. Can you? Oh, okay. I was about to say, can you cancel those? That would help. I just wish that they made some way, like I was saying last stream, that you didn't collide during these, because it's really annoying when you're... I mean, again, it's partially my fault for putting it off, but when you're trying to do something and you just cut off, because like here, I think we're okay based on this step to not need to worry about anyone, getting in the way. But I know if we randomly stop in wherever this quest is, it might boot it up. But either way, let's hop over here. I don't know what Nahida's character quest will be. I would assume, though, that at some point, I know they haven't done it for Venti yet, and I think part of the reason was there were already technically 2 Trounce domains in Mondstadt, whereas in Liyue, they introduced Ajdaha. In Inazuma, they introduced that second, Trounce domain. I still have mushrooms marked. But that second part of the main Archon's character quest introduced a new Trounce domain. I'm wondering if they're going to do something like that with Nahida eventually. I'm still waiting for them to do that with Venti. Either way, though, just interesting stuff. We do know that, thanks to the story quest, nobody except for the Traveler remembers the existence of Greater Lord Hukadevada, which that was also something that caught me off guard. I think I was personally really fooled into thinking that it was like a Guoba. I've mentioned it so many times. I thought it was like what happened with Guoba, where she used too much power because that was mentioned, and then she kind of regressed into a different form, which isn't exactly what happened. I really like the cutting off the branch, like the purest branch of a corrupted tree analogy that they used, but no one else in Sumeru, aside from Traveler here, remembers the existence of the Greater Lord, so it's kind of cool to see. So I don't know if this character quest is going to go over that, or the fact that she is currently looking after Scaramouche, which could be what kind of leads us into having Kim be a playable character next patch. I just assumed there would be something else that kind of, discuss that, but we'll have to see.
Trying to best the academia in a debate is attempting the impossible.
This is actually the Nilou character quest. That's awkward. Did I click on the wrong one? Sorry about that. Okay, so what's going on with Nilou's character quest is that they're trying to hold a debate over them shutting down the performance troupe. Oh, that's really awkward. I just didn't even think about it. I thought it would be the top one.
Things might turn out differently from what you expect.
I am in favor of such a romantic feat. No playwright will turn down a compelling underdog story. Sure, in fiction, but I'm not sure how well that will translate to reality. I'm not saying that I don't support you, Nilou. If you need my help, just say the word.
Yeah. Nilou is basically like the Barbara of Sumeru in a lot of ways. Kind of like a performance celebrity, just in Mondstadt I think that's actually appreciated. Whereas in Sumeru it still is, but they really struggle with the academia.
I feel a lot less nervous with your support. Not to rain on your parade. But my father...
And then her father was actually the member of the academia that came to shut it down.
He's erudite, meticulous, demanding, and exceedingly exceedingly familiar with rigorous logic. It'll be extremely difficult to beat him in a debate. You all already knew that. But you just didn't want to hurt
Yeah.
Nilou's feelings.
Well, it's any member of the academia, you know? We've seen some kind of frazzled students, but
Aren't you hurting her just the same?
most of them are gonna
Enough, Inaya.
really be good at that. That's it, though. It's not impossible.
Sorry.
And I get where she's coming
I'm in
from.
the mood. I just can't force myself to expect a positive outcome. Nilou shouldn't have to push herself for the sake of an impossible goal.
And a huge part of the academia and everything in Sumeru is that they're extremely arrogant. There's a decent chance they might not even prepare for the debate, stuff like that.
We're up against the academia. Everyone knows that they're very powerful. Being skeptical might actually be the more normal response. But I still want to try.
Yeah.
I'm reluctant to just let Zubair.
The downside to a lot of the character quests, too, is a lot of times, I assume they're canon, but it's not quite in the same way as the main story. Like, we know, obviously, the theater doesn't disappear, you know? They obviously win somehow, whether it be through the debate or something else. But the issue that we run into here is it kind of ruins the suspense. Although, to be fair, you probably could have guessed from the very start that the theater was never going away. But, what I mean by it being, like, versus canon versus not necessary is that it's just, most of the character quests you could play the main story of Genshin and never do the side quests and you wouldn't miss out on too much, you know? I mean, I would argue that the ones that are most integral to the story would be something like Zhongli's or Raiden Shogun's, and even then, you don't technically need the Trounce domains. But those are the ones that are key to, like, Archons. Like the progression of what happens in Inazuma after the main story. But we'll see.
I'll do my best to prepare for it. I'll gather everyone's thoughts and let them be known to all during the debate. I by myself definitely don't have enough wisdom to beat your father. But what about the entire theater combined?
And to be fair, their debate isn't something too impossible to figure out, because it's just proving like there's usefulness in the theater. So I don't know, like, I'm not sure how they're gonna go about it, but something about like morale, maybe in revenue. I don't know how much anything like that could be used as a reasonable debate for keeping something like a theater open.
I'll do my best.
Hi, there we go. Yep, okay. That's awkward. I've done that so many times. Anyway, let's actually hop into Nahida's story quest. We will probably finish Nilou's today. I think usually story quests take like anywhere from 1 to 2 hours.
Have you ever heard of a moment of dreams?
I don't actually know what that is. I was also really surprised though that the reason I thought it was going to have to do more with the academia that people of Sumeru didn't dream than, you know, what happened with like the Greater Lord and her needing their strength.
The last time I dreamed was when I was but a little child.
Yeah.
So I can't help but feel excited and
And
nostalgic
they
about
really can't hold it against, even if they knew. You know, nobody remembers the Greater Lord, but you couldn't hold it against them. Yeah.
Yes. We organized an event to give
You know,
everyone with new
if you're basically the protector of your lives, you know, the one who'd stop the corruption from killing everything,
a moment of dreams.
took something like that, I don't think you can be too upset about that.
You could say that.
But one of the many things in Genshin that
Sorts of wild and
the
fun
ordinary
stories
population would never
every
find
day.
out about, you know?
Really? Why not have a listen for yourselves?
Yeah, but to us, dreaming
Yeah.
is as normal as breathing. Wait, but if there are free drinks and snacks involved, then Paimon might consider
And I've been a little bit hazy too if that just involved the people in the forest area of Sumeru,
Already seen
or if the people in the desert also didn't dream. Because I'm not sure if that was ever mentioned.
It's really nothing special.
No. We need experienced participants like you to share your
Experienced
experiences with
participants, huh? My experiences of dreaming is usually nightmares.
you two as
I don't know what it is,
dream
but
experts.
maybe it's my anxiety or something manifesting. I've been told lots of different things. Like, I've been told about people having, like, lucid dreams where they can control what they do. Or the fact that it's, like, supposedly based on, like, a jumble of what you see throughout the day. I've heard a lot of theories. I don't know if any of them are actually true. mostly because it doesn't really bother me either way. But I've had some weird dreams too. Yeah, dream experts, huh? I mean, the Traveler has lived for hundreds of years, and I'm still so confused about the fact that they mention that, on a completely different tangent, I've just been thinking all night about the fact, like, I can't get off my mind, the fact that they discuss, in our playthrough it's Lumine, but obviously it's the non-Abyss sibling, is like the fourth outsider from another world. The first was the Heavenly Principles, the second and third they had been really vague upon, but they don't count the Abyss sibling. And they talk about it like the Abyss sibling, like the Harbingers don't view the Abyss sibling as something not of this world. I've been so interested to see just what it is that means, but that's not really relevant to this, but that's been something that I'm really wondering about.
Rest assured, you'll find all the drinks and
As well as when we're going to meet all the other, you know, Harbingers. I'm so excited to meet Arlecchino and Columbina, actually. I really like as well. My favorite design is Arlecchino, then it's Capitano, then it's probably Columbina. I think they did a good job with Dottore character, I just don't like Dottore. Because it's Dottore. Anyway.
Very good.
I don't know if it's just me. I don't know, it's been a couple years, but I personally like making Paimon happy. To me, it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you had...
I felt that I might have said a bit too much.
Oh.
Well,
Why did
I
Nilou just...
suppose
Oh,
it must be accumulating knowledge and sharing your experiences.
where are we going?
Anyway, we better start preparing now. First,
Hmm.
let's see what everyone thinks about the situation. Nope! It's all about the title. From now on, Paimon will be known as Paimon, the Dream Expert.
Is this...
All right, time to
Oh,
pull
okay.
everyone's thoughts.
The text on the bottom wasn't synced with that. That was a little weird. I was confused for a second. I was like, wait. But... I don't know. Anyway, back on what I was saying. To me, I always just saw Paimon as like, she's obviously our guide. But I know people find, like, the big meme stems from, like, her being really annoying. But I've just found that, I don't know. It's like if you had, like, a kid or a little sibling to look after. You could be annoyed with them. That's normal. You get mad at them and stuff. But, like, at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't bother me as much. Maybe it's because I have 5 siblings, though.
Sorry to interrupt, everyone.
That might be it.
Have some real dream experts joining us.
They are so hyped up about this. You'd think people from Sumeru go out all the time
Now,
and
anyone
go into
with any
Sumeru.
questions,
So,
please feel free
do
to
they
ask
not?
them.
Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder. Do you like the researchers that go to other lands not have dreams still?
Oh, I have a question. Me first. Me first.
No rush. Everyone
I mean, none of the people here seem to be
line up and ask in
Academia
an orderly fashion.
researchers, so might not be relevant here, but still. I wonder, like, have none of these people traveled outside the land, and does that allow them to dream?
Paimon didn't expect them to be so enthusiastic.
My question is simple. My everyday life is very difficult, so I would like to become a slime in my dreams. How can I do that?
Kind of goes back to the whole lucid dreaming thing.
Oh, Paimon knows. Paimon's had this kind of
Shoo.
dream before, so she knows a thing or two.
Why would you want a dream to be a slime?
Paimon became an animal slime.
Oh.
Paimon was shot by an adventurer's arrow and flew in the sky all night long. The second time, Paimon became a dendro slime. A group of kids thought Paimon was a
Oh my gosh.
all the grass on her head.
They're looking for a dream expert and we're just getting told about nightmares.
The third time, Paimon became a cryo slime. In the end,
Oh my gosh.
captured by a chef and turned into a smoothie.
Jeez. She was captured by Zhongling.
Paimon became a powerful geo slime.
Oh my
and went
gosh.
to take revenge on the forest boar that used to bully Paimon. But then the boar showed up with all of its relatives and Paimon left again.
Wait, why did all of your dreams end so
Yeah.
tragically?
It's called a nightmare.
Because slimes are monsters, even though they look cute, they usually cause trouble and end up getting killed by adventurers. Things don't
Yeah.
always end well for monsters. Believe Paimon.
Yeah. She's doing her best.
You're right. They are monsters, after all. I just want to experience a different life, but it seems that becoming a monster would be even worse
Yeah.
than my current life.
Yeah. But I mean,
Maybe I'd be happier if I became just a regular
we're
fish
definitely not
or
explaining this
fish.
correctly.
Looks like is way easier than Paimon imagined.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that. I was glad. I thought she was gonna start mentioning, well, if you become a fish, you'll get cooked. You'll get fished up, and I was like,
Esteemed
oh,
expert,
be terrifying.
I want to know what posture I should sleep in, so I can have the same dream as the one I had last night.
I don't think that's how it works. Go ahead.
Hey, you're supposed to be helping.
Hmm.
First, why don't you tell Paimon about the dream you want to have again?
Hmm.
Oh, it's quite ordinary. I sat and chatted with my wife on a sunny day, listening to the breeze blowing through the valley.
Okay.
Why don't you just find your wife and talk with her? There's no need to wait for a dream.
Why do I feel like his wife's passed away? Oh,
Unfortunately, she
Paimon.
passed away.
Paimon,
Oh,
I'm an awkward person, and I could have figured that's how that was going.
shouldn't have assumed anything.
Alright, Paimon, like... That's rough.
No, it's fine.
Not really
I didn't
her
make that
fault,
clear.
but... Yeah.
I just want a chance to see her again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that is actually what I was gonna say, is... Try to visualize it throughout your day, because that's what I was saying, is I really do think I've been told somewhere that dreams can be an amalgamation of, like, what's constantly in your mind running throughout the day. Just obviously, like, your brain kind of jumbles it up. I don't know, again, if that's true, but if you're like, that's what you're focused on, that's what runs through your mind, which it already kind of feels like is what happens with this guy, the poor guy, just grieving. But something like that, genuinely, you could try. It might not work, but you could try it.
What you think about right before falling asleep is probably way more important.
Oh, is that all I have to do?
I mean, you could try it.
If you're the one thinking about her, and you're the one that'll be dreaming about her, then it'll be easier to connect your thoughts and dreams.
You do have a point. I'll give it a try tonight. Thanks for your wise advice.
Oh, my turn, my turn. I want to know the
Okay.
name of the plant in my dream.
The
I wanna bring
plant.
a souvenir box to my
It was
room
weed.
sometime.
I dreamt of a raven flying over the wasteland last night.
Hmm.
Does that have any kind of special meaning?
Hey, no rush! One at a time!
This is one of those, like, we're kind of just, yeah, saying things and they're believing us.
The questions were way too difficult.
That's pretty
We don't
funny.
actually know anything more than they do. We're just more experienced dreamers, that's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I mean, it's one of those things that for us, for normal people, that something like that becomes so normalized that you just kind of accept it as it is. But then to live your entire life since you were like a child without ever dreaming and suddenly having it again, you know, it really sticks out to you and it's much more
You have a point.
exciting to you.
It's more rewarding to
Hmm.
explore and contemplate the meaning of a question than to focus on the answer itself. Right now, these people are
Hmm.
like wanderers who've starved for 3 days and 3 nights
Yep.
and are desperate to replenish their energy. Any explanation they get now is like pure sustenance to them, no matter how good the explanation really is.
Yep.
Oh, and
Now that they have, yeah, I was gonna say, now that they have Nahida back, you would think that Nahida could maybe help them out with this.
If she was here, she'd probably be making some similar analogy.
Yeah, maybe.
Unfortunately, she's super busy right now and may not have time for
Hmm.
gatherings like this.
Dear expert,
Huh.
we have another guest who would like to consult you.
Be funny if it was actually just Nahida.
You saw how
Or
we
Nahida
answered
in
all
another
the
body.
questions just now. We're not really all that knowledgeable.
But this guest is rather special.
Oh, it is actually just Nahida. Fair enough.
My question is, why didn't you immediately tell me about such an interesting place?
Yeah, Paimon.
Nahida!
Why didn't you tell her? You're the guide.
Interesting events like a moment of dreams don't happen every day after
Mhm.
all. No matter how busy things are, I'd still set aside some time to check it out.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I really gotta say though, like, we...
Right. If there's
Hold on.
anyone that
I'll wait for a sec, but...
understands dreams, it's you.
Hmm.
You should be able to help
Yeah,
us
she has
answer
power
all
over
those
dreams.
questions.
But, I've really liked, though, that they haven't made things just so cut and dry in terms of like what God's powers are, because they've left themselves so much creative like space to work with. You have to consider like every god is going to be associated with a specific element. But then you have things like the God of Eternity with A that allows you to do a bunch of stuff. We've had the God of Contracts, the God of Freedom. Now we have the God of Wisdom, but they're also layering in the power of dreams on top of that. It kind of shows that we could really see some very expansive, unexpected powers. I think that looking at the list of, like, obviously Sumer, the Hydra Archons, the God of Justice, we have the God of Love with Cryo, and the God of War with Pyro. I do find it really interesting, but I will say the least surprising probably that Pyro's the God of War. But even then, it's kind of showing that if they're going to make someone like the God of Wisdom have power over dreams, in addition to their element, and, you know, stuff to do with wisdom, it really shows that you can go into so much more, you know, just so much more stuff in depth than I really do feel like we saw with potentially some of the other gods. And what I mean by that is, like, Venti's the God of Freedom. We saw that he had, like, powers with music, that was cool, but, you know, it wasn't anything too crazy. The God of Contracts with Zhongli, I didn't feel like we saw anything super, super crazy differing that you wouldn't expect, you know? And, like, with A, the big thing I would say is just the fact that she had the plane of euthymia and the puppet creation. But just thinking about, like, the God of Wisdom, you wouldn't think, at least in my opinion, I wouldn't think, that she would have power over dreams. That just seems like something that makes sense, but it just wouldn't have occurred to me. So, really cool stuff. Why are they so... I wonder why they're hesitant to ask Nahida.
Huh? What's wrong? You were all so excited a minute ago.
Oh, yeah.
Why the sudden hesitation?
I feel bad for Nahida, but in their memory, too, Nahida had used too much. Like, the current quote-unquote canon, the people of Sumeru remember, everyone except Lumine, is that the Greater Lord never existed, and then after using so much of her power, she was imprisoned by the Academia, or something like that. So they probably have a bit of a harder time than, like, the immediate adjustment we made with Nilou and everyone at the party we held for Sino at the end of the Archon quest.
Even so,
Just because they haven't had that opportunity.
it's not like I look super intimidating or anything, right?
No, I wouldn't
In terms
say
of
that, but
reputation
yeah.
and renown, you've also done many great things in Sumeru.
But you're their
I
god.
didn't even flinch at you.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have put it quite like this, but I would have been like, they respect you a lot more.
Alas, the interesting questions have all vanished in an instant.
Aw. I feel really bad for her, because at the end of the Archon quest, that's what she was concerned about.
See myself out.
That's why she didn't initially... She kind of used our body to thank everyone,
I don't want to get in the way
because
of
she was
the
worried
original
about it.
purpose of a moment of dreams, which is to let people gather here and freely share their marvelous dreams.
Don't nod along with that.
The atmosphere here
You
is
should have been
like water
fine.
poured into a container. The water is more secure and settled, but it has lost its free-flowing nature from the river.
I'm sorry,
I
Nahida.
just want it to be another drop in the water, not the cold and restrictive container.
Is she trying to guilt trip them? Well, I suppose she is the god of wisdom.
She's sulking.
Oh, no, Renji just... Yeah, fair enough. I understand that, though. She was locked up for, like, 5 centuries.
No need to be shy.
And then she just wants to,
It's really nice, so please just go ahead and ask.
you know, integrate with her people.
All right.
Which is new. It's just sad. Because I wouldn't say that none of the other Archons necessarily didn't care for their people. But Nahida, like, really, really loves her people.
Besides, I don't want to become a
She
slime.
really, really loves her people.
Maybe a finch or fish is more
And
suitable for me.
they have a harder time.
I see.
Although ignorance is bliss, and like most people don't know Venti's the animal Archon as he's playing in taverns.
Why do you think that sounds good to you?
I guess I just want to experience something different. My everyday life
Yeah.
is nothing but the same.
That is depressingly
Skies
accurate, I
right
think, for
above
most people,
me,
including myself.
ocean just over the horizon,
But-
yet I remain caged in a life of monotony.
So you want to experience something new in your dreams?
Yeah, I was gonna say you could try it.
Sorry,
Even if you have a little bit of free time.
I'm getting a little confused.
I have a friend who always says, like, if you want to make something work, you know,
Experiences in real life.
whether it be like music or
Because if I don't
anything, you
work,
know,
I won't
life
have
begins
any
after the
money.
9 to 5.
Sure, I don't want to be out
On the
hammering
weekends and
nails
whatnot.
cutting wood every day, but I have aging parents and
Yeah.
young children to take care of. By the time this all dawned on me, I realized that my life has already been filled to the brim by trifling matters. And
That
I
is really
still want
sad.
freedom.
They really do like slip in some very
Even if you became a
somber,
fishmonger
like
swimming fish,
realistic
you would
tones
still
in
be
some of these
gathering nails
stories.
and cutting wood in your dreams. The reason is you've already been caged. It doesn't matter what your physical body turns into. Your mind will still be stuck in the same.
You know, make sure you can take care of yourself. Oh, there we go. Okay. Of course, you gotta make sure you can still take care of yourself, but still.
I don't know everything that you're going through, but how about replacing your hammer?
Okay, yeah, something small.
Huh? Replacing my hammer?
Unless it's the metaphor.
That's right.
It could be a metaphor.
Having worked for such a long time, you of all people must know what makes a good hammer.
It's really cool to see her like working in the capacity of the God of Wisdom, though.
Be heavy enough to drive the nail in with just a couple taps, and the handle has to have a good grip to it.
And,
not
like,
too smooth.
actually see an Archon actively like.
Replace my
It's
current
a meme, you know,
quite
to say that maybe some of the Archons shirk their duties because
Replace it. Then
they've come to the aid when it's been necessary, but like
maybe some ornaments,
you know,
fur,
not quite the same as like actively being out here trying to give people
write the
advice.
names of your children on it.
It's just remember, I had a friend who
I think it'd give me a good boost of energy.
he doesn't play Genshin anymore, but he played up through right, I believe up to the chasm. And I just remember there was a long point where he's like, man, I really want to get Zhongli. Zhongli is my favorite character. Like 2 days later, I talked to him in Discord because he played through Leo, and he's like, I don't want to play, I mean, I don't want to get Zhongli anymore. The dude literally put his entire country in danger because he didn't want to go to work once a year during the Rite of Dissension. And obviously, like, that's not the cut and dry what happened, but that made me laugh so hard.
A new sense of adventure often begins with the little things in
But
life.
still.
You don't need to become a bird in the air or a fish in the sea. You only need to do your best in life, and all those things you cherish will become your source of happiness.
It's all about mindset.
Yes, I get it now. This is a real eye-opener for me. I'll go and pick out a new hammer right away. No, I should make one of my own. Thank you, Great Dendro Archon.
But that's genuinely good advice. If he's in a position where he doesn't have the monetary ability to go do something else, he has his responsibilities. She makes sure to not like encourage him, oh, just go quit your job and travel.
Didn't really
Oh my
understand the
gosh.
problem.
But it really was good advice. Do something small that's achievable
That
that you can work
advice
towards.
because I saw a worker doing the same thing.
Hmm.
Whenever he became
I mean, she
popular,
has observed, you
he'd
know,
look at some names on the
everyone of
handle
Sumeru from like an outsider perspective
for a
for
moment, he'd
centuries.
start to smile.
Hmm.
It really surprised me at the time.
Okay.
My guess is that the names on the handle were of important people to him.
And everyone's different, but genuinely, solutions that work for some people work for others. You know? As the God of Wisdom, it makes sense. You've got those experiences of watching people for centuries. Why not? Exactly, though, draw from a similar example. If it doesn't work, you have
After
some
observation,
idea. That's where I always struggle with, is having that starting point.
But why is that? Is it because of excitement, anticipation?
Having like the name of like loved ones on the handle of a hymn or something like that while you
I don't
work.
know.
It reminds you of why you're
Even
doing what
if
you
I
are.
could know what's going through his mind, it's still difficult to fully grasp his feelings. Oh, Paimon gets what you mean. Huh. Paimon had
Yeah.
no idea it takes you so much.
This is
effort
why
to
I
grasp
always
these
say,
kinds
though,
of things.
like, it's kind of crazy. It's obviously not a one-to-one comparison. But this is why I always say, when I talk with people, I wouldn't want to live forever. You know? Like, if I was offered immortality, I would turn it down. Unironically, I wouldn't. It'd be cool to see, like, where technology and everything progresses over however long, but I think it'd be difficult in ways that you wouldn't think, like for Nahida. You know? Just crazy stuff. I don't know, sorry though. My mind runs on random tangents whenever I do stuff like this. Like that.
Don't forget about Paimon.
Hmm.
Everyone knows that Paimon's also super skilled at reading people's feelings.
Yeah.
I see it too. That makes me feel a lot better. Let's move on to the next question, shall we?
I already asked the experts my
We
question
didn't give a good
earlier.
response.
I wanted to hear the Dendro Archon's
Yeah.
response too. What should I do if I want to see my deceased wife in my dreams every night?
Longing for the deceased.
Yeah, she shouldn't be able to remember anymore, but man, I was really sad. I didn't mention it, but they did a really good job with like animating. No, maybe I did talk about it, not animating, but like the mood of that scene. I did talk about it. I was gonna say it reminded me a lot of the scene in the second Raiden Shogun character quest when she says goodbye to Makoto. It's just the mood in that just hit me again. It was so good. They do such a good job with like the ambience in like the music. That's one thing I used to want to be like a music producer, composer / singer because I wanted to give people that kind of emotion, because I think music, you know, everyone has like different arts and crafts and stuff like that. Like the arts in general can do that. But for me, it was always music, so
Even if you
just fun
keep
stuff.
reliving those beautiful memories, it
Yeah.
will only highlight the emptiness in your real life.
I don't think it's wrong to dwell and remember lovingly, especially with someone like your wife.
She certainly
But
wouldn't want to see you like
you do
this,
need to
would
move
she?
forward. It's really, really sad.
I suppose not. But our time together in my dreams is
Yeah,
not just
and that's kind of what
reliving
dreams
our
are.
past together.
It's not just like looking through
I
a
don't know.
video at
Maybe
past
it's
memories,
because
but
I miss her too much.
that genuinely does
But
make
it's
sense, though.
really as if she had come back to life in my
Dreams aren't
dreams.
exactly like a
She
usually
even remembers each
like a
and every
recording
dream.
of the past.
After I wake up and then continue dreaming again later, we can pick up our conversation. Right
Oh,
where
and
we
that's
last
why he
left
wants to
off.
repeat it, because it's not the same
That's
dream.
really
It's
amazing.
yeah.
Statistically speaking,
Huh.
continuous dreams are extremely rare.
I didn't even know that was a
It's
thing.
almost as if my wife has
But-
obtained a second life
Interesting.
in my dreams. But
Yeah.
the more vivid she appears, the emptier I feel, and the more painful it is when I wake up.
That's really
I don't know whether to call it a blessing or a curse.
Maybe all of this is rooted in your deep longing for her.
well. Yeah.
Are there any unresolved matters or regrets between the two of you?
Oh. I
don't
wonder.
know. I suppose my
Yeah.
biggest regret is that I couldn't spend the rest of my life with her.
But why do they always hit
Felt
you
I
like
was
this?
ready
Like,
to move on.
yeah.
I wouldn't be so hesitant now if it weren't for these hyper-realistic dreams I've been having.
Huh. You know, they say that whatever's on your mind is what goes into
Yeah.
your dreams. But
Well-
dreams are and will forever be just dreams.
Yeah.
We are people living in the real world. It's not good to be overly obsessed with dreams. All it'll do is fill up your mind and eat away at your thoughts.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm also a little
Oh,
disappointed
they do have a
in
chat as
myself.
well. You
I
do, but
still need to take care
it's-
of our child.
I genuinely, and you know, I'm no
It's
expert. This is why I'm not like a
probably good to let
therapist or
her see
anything,
me
but
in such a state.
it's important. Like, you don't need to
Anyway,
forget, you know?
Thanks
In
for
his
your
situation, you
advice,
don't need to forget,
Great
but you do need to be
Dendro Archon.
grateful, you know, and, you know, take care of his child, take care of what's going on in his current life. But there's nothing
I'm a
wrong
little worried about him.
with,
I hope he can find a
I don't
way
know how to
get
put it. Like, you
soon.
don't want to dwell too hard on the past, but there's
I
nothing
think
wrong
we
with
can handle
remembering,
things from
you know?
here.
That's part of what
You
makes
don't
us who
need
we
to
are.
stay here if you find it boring.
Hmm.
You're here to have a good time after all.
Well, I mean, oh, I was gonna say, are we gonna stick around or not? Check on Illman, yeah. Did they really name him Illman? Like, ill, sick, man? Some of the names. I don't think anything's gonna top the fact that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 named one of the characters in the city Boomer, though, and he's actually an old man. Like, that was... I still just... I can't get over that one.
Are you feeling any better now?
Yes. I think the
Hmm?
Dendro Archon made a really good point. I need to stop dwelling on my wife like this and move on with my life. Now that I think about it, my wife and I always meet at a familiar place in my dreams.
Okay.
I know where that place exists in reality, but it's a bit far.
Okay,
and
that must be where
dangerous.
we're heading on this
I
quest.
don't dare to go there on my own. But at the same time, I feel as if I should go and have a look anyway.
Hmm.
Perhaps I'll be able to move on once I see that
Yeah,
there's nothing there.
it could give closure. Maybe someplace that he has a particularly happy memory.
Otherwise, I'll keep on feeling like everything is covered in a haze. Like I'm only half awake. Once I can stop dreaming about that place, I'll probably be able to get my life back together.
Yeah.
Actually, you two
Yeah, I
are
was gonna say
adventurers,
that's
right?
definitely where this is going.
If it's okay with you, could you escort me to that place?
Of course.
Yeah, it might also be a good chance for us to unwind.
That or just have like a soul-crushingly sad scene, but sure.
Help cheer you up.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All right, go ahead and get yourself ready then.
So we are potentially gonna let her know. I've wondered. Yeah. Because
Are you headed off to some interesting place?
given the way they said goodbye, I would have a hard time telling her personally, but
You're supposed to be answering questions.
it's one of those ignorance versus bliss versus the right to know
And
type
I really
things.
got a lot out of it. So many interesting and novel thoughts. Anyway, it looks like you're going somewhere. Why don't you take me with you?
Oh, there's no need to trouble you, great Dendro Archon. I imagine you must have many other important things to deal with.
I really did think though that
Ceremony. Besides,
the people of Sumeru, like earlier in the story, everyone would like kind of get the explanation about like the Lesser Lord basically being like a gift from the Greater Lord, as opposed to everyone just forgetting the Greater Lord. Because it was explained that it was almost like there was just a niche that worshipped to Lesser Lord Kusanali versus the Greater Lord. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be. Okay, so that is interesting. I really had wondered what they go over. It looks like, and it could still arguably be too early to tell, but it does seem like the whole deal with Scaramouche is probably not going to be addressed in this character quest, which makes me think it'll probably just have to wait till next patch. If it's addressed at all, I suppose, but, it goes back to my theory about which Harbingers could be playable, as just far as characters in general. The character needs to have, you know, some kind of power. I would say a vision, but that's obviously not the case with, like, the Traveler. But, like, a vision, a delusion, or some kind of power that you could translate into a kit. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense gameplay-wise. But for the Harbingers in particular, and it's what I've been wondering for so long about the Tsaritsa, is it feels like it's someone that could have realistically been on your side at one point. You know? Tartaglia, for everything aside that happened in Leo, was at our side at the beginning of the story, and at the end we're still on good terms. Scaramouche, something's got to happen, I would think. Like, obviously he's going to have a bit of a... You know, he's got a lot to dig through, given everything that happened tragically in his life. He technically became a god, then lost the Gnosis, is no longer a god. But you could see that there's probably character growth. We know he's going to be an animo character. I don't know how that would happen with, like, say, Dottore. You know? But the overall issue is if the Tsaritsa becomes playable, you would think something like that happens. Unless we just get playable villains, which is also a route that could go. But if the Tsaritsa becomes allied with us at some point, that theoretically also allows every other current Harbinger at that point that's still allied with the Tsaritsa. Because you would assume Snezhnai is the last of the 7 nations we go to. That would still give, like, a temporary reason for us to be allied with all of the Harbingers. So, there's that.
I guess so.
So, this is where you always meet your wife in your dreams?
Yes, for the most part. Our place is on the summit, just up
Okay.
ahead. When I saw her in my dreams, we didn't do anything but talk about ordinary, mundane topics. I'd tell her about our daughter, Haidar, and she always listened intently.
Okay.
She would also reminisce about the past with me, telling me interesting stories and cracking jokes.
That's really sad.
It feels
Honestly.
like no matter how long we may chat, it's never enough.
Sometimes, it's the little things in life that matter the most. This is the part I'm a little puzzled about. I'm very familiar with dreams, and normally, they lack logic and continuity. But you said she could remember what you had told her before, right?
That's right. She always listened to me carefully in real life, and now she's doing the same in my dreams. She always surprises me with some details from our lives in the real world. The fact that she can remember such things makes me feel like she's alive.
Whoa, that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Dreams are kind of weird to begin with. However, the problem is that his dreams have too much structure and continuity.
Oh.
Most dreams are far more fragile than you can imagine. For example,
I wonder if this is gonna take like.
outside your window in the real world,
Oh yeah.
cause your dream self to get loaded into and fired out of a big cannon.
I genuinely wonder if we're gonna have something more sinister behind these streams here.
Then you might find yourself trudging through a
Because obviously in a character quest, we usually almost always get the opportunity to play the character. So there has to be some reason to fight something, you know? For example, the last one we did was, well, on stream was Kazuha's. We had to go into that domain, you know?
But I have no reason
To do the
suspect
testing with the
these
Wicked
dreams.
Blade. So.
They're too beautiful.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think it feels like a cause for concern as long as he can separate dreams from reality. And again, be able to move forward and take care of those in his current life.
I still want to figure out the how and the why. These kind of dreams are novel to me as well. That's why I want to have a look at the scene your dreams have been taking place.
I'm still confused too, like, if they don't remember the Greater Lord, are they aware that...
Just think of it as a nice little
Why...
hike to the top of the
You'd
mountain.
never wonder, though, like, why do we call her Lesser Lord, you know? Was there a Greater Lord? Why, you know, are they aware that she's only, like, 500 years old? That is one thing that... Another thing that's stuck in my mind is, like, if they don't remember the Greater Lord, do they know who the previous Dendro Archon was? Because they know there was a Dendro Archon from the Archon War. And they should know, in theory, that it wasn't Nahida. One of those things that I don't... It could potentially be a plot hole. I doubt it. I'm sure they've thought of that. If someone like me has randomly thought about it, you know? Some random dude. You know, I'm sure it was thought of. But that is one thing that's really stuck in my mind is... Do they just believe... You know, I talk about it being like their headcanon, I guess. Is the headcanon currently of everyone in Sumeru that she was the original Dendro Archon? Or what's going on? Because I have been confused about that.
This place definitely isn't safe.
Oh, okay.
No matter. We'll just finish them quickly. Huh? Are you going to fight too, Nahida? Of course. This is
Okay.
all part of our little trip.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, she's playable here. I wonder if that means there's usually a domain, though, that we go through for character quests. But yeah, this really does remind me of that, I think I mentioned it last time, like the camera event. Where you would, like, take pictures in that domain with the camera, and then it just blasts everything with a different effect, depending on what day it was. That's what her E reminds me of, and then her ult reminds me of Elysia's ult. I did look it up, I'm pretty sure her name was Elysia.
The scenery here is amazing. It also seems like a great spot for eating snacks and taking a nap.
There's like a hut here, I wonder if they built it.
Spending some time here every day either.
And I've always wondered, gameplay-wise, what the actual scale would be if this was like a real world. It's obviously much bigger than a place you could run across from end to end in like 10 minutes.
Such an intense but unquantifiable emotion couldn't
Like, we
be
climb a
without
Liyue mountain
organized dreams.
if you have the stamina in like
His wife
a couple
must be
minutes,
a
you know?
really amazing
Obviously that wouldn't be the case in real life.
Huh? Wait, where'd he go?
Oh?
Oh.
Okay.
You were waiting for me here? Well, guess what?
Is he daydreaming now?
Someone amazing with me today. When the
Or is he
Dendro
hallucinating?
Archon said she wanted to come with me, I could hardly believe
Huh.
it. I'll bring Haidar once I'm more familiar with the way here.
Ow.
She's
Sorry.
been telling me that she really misses you.
Yeah, he's either daydreaming or hallucinating. That's not good. I would think,
Wait,
though,
Minar,
if he does have these
don't
meaningful
go that
conversations
way.
with his wife,
It's dangerous.
and is based off like his constructed memories of her, does he not... Does she never tell him, you know, like, I want you to move forward with your life?
Luckily he didn't fall.
Hmm.
But what was all that rambling about? He also looks like he's passed out.
And you would think it wouldn't be like sleep deprivation because
What he said just now
but yeah,
matches almost
but it wouldn't be sleep deprivation because he's trying to dream. I know there's stuff with like reaching REM sleep and everything, but still.
and started to have the same dream? I find it a little strange as well, but we mustn't
Yeah.
awaken someone while they're
Sleepwalking is crazy. I don't have that issue, but
sit here and wait.
there's people that do some crazy stuff. It's actually really interesting to me.
Minar. Where's Minar?
Oh, good! You're finally awake!
What happened?
Hmm.
Huh? Sleepwalking? Oh, right.
I do wonder though. I don't know why it is you're
It
not
was
supposed
all
to
just a
like
dream.
interfere with someone doing
The
sleepwalking.
moment
Obviously, if they
I
were
reached
doing
the
something
summit, I
dangerous,
saw
but
my wife, Minar, sitting there. and
I've
walked
wondered
over to
like
her. After I introduced her to you,
I'm sure I could look it
she
up. I'm
seemed a
just
little flustered and
actually kind of
started
curious
walking
about that.
away. I told her to stop because of the cliff,
Oh,
and then she seemed to suddenly disappear. A strong wind started to blow around me, and the sky grew dark. When I realized something wasn't right, I
Okay.
woke up.
That sounds pretty wild. Maybe you were just too tired.
when he realized something wasn't
don't
right is when he
think
woke
so.
up. That's interesting.
I slept a lot yesterday,
Yeah.
and I don't feel very
So maybe
sleepy
there is
now.
something behind this. I mean, we had that one
Affected the way his subconscious
like almost
constructed
hallucinatory
his
dream when we first came to Sumeru.
Anyway, all that matters is that
I
you
don't
woke
think
up
that's
safe
it
and
either,
sound.
because it was like from that weird like mushroom
think
dust
I
or
know
whatever it
what
was, but
happened now.
still.
I'm sorry. If
Oh,
it
yeah,
weren't for you,
well.
I would have fallen.
Let's head back now.
Hmm.
Don't come back to this place again for the time being.
Oh, okay.
Nahida, what's on your mind? Paimon's a little worried now. We still don't have enough evidence to work off of, so it's hard to draw any reliable conclusions yet. But I'm
Yeah,
concerned
well,
that
I wonder.
Yomon's case may not be unique to
Something
her.
like dreams returning to everyone after a long time could be
Come to think of it, there were
interesting.
lots of people from the event who had vivid memories of their dreams.
Yeah, like I genuinely will remember like a general gist of my dream. It's hard to explain. Like when you're dreaming, obviously, it's like you feel it, what's going on. But then when I wake up, I swear I don't remember every single detail. It's almost like I've just like a gap in my memory. I don't know how else to explain it. It's weird.
Right.
Like I don't remember every detail of my dreams.
Dreams, there may be people like this all across Sumeru.
But I know it's like something I
We need to
experienced, you know?
understand what's happening and the rate of its development as soon as possible. Then there's no time to lose. Let's head back. Stop standing there, Elmon. Let's go.
Okay, return to a moment of peace. I do wonder though. Again, I would assume there's going to be some kind of domain that we have to deal with. It could be something. I mean, I doubt it's like an academia, you know, experiment, which is what I would have initially guessed before everything was resolved, so who knows.
What a lucky day.
Oh. Oh. I'm confused.
Oh, you're back.
I was about to say, was I not supposed to talk to them? But then it didn't move and it still
We have an emergency on our hands.
started that.
Please notify everyone here that while they can continue to discuss their dreams, they mustn't try to visit or recreate the locations and scenes that they have been experiencing in them.
What? All right, if that's the wish of the great Dendro Archon. But could you at least
Yeah,
tell me
I
what
really am
happened?
wondering
You
where
all
they're
look so
going with this.
serious.
Like what the actual cause is behind this happening.
I see. I never knew even a dream could be so dangerous. Don't worry. I'll be sure to notify all the event participants and inform the other staff members about what has happened. Using the event registration list, I should be able to contact more people that were interested in dreams and warn them about the situation.
Thank you.
That's
that would
good.
be very helpful.
Let me confirm if all of today's participants are still here. Atta has already left. It seemed that he was on his way to make a hammer, so that should
Okay,
be a
so we're
problem.
probably gonna have to track down these people.
Wait a second. Where's Katya? Has anyone seen Katya? Has she already left?
Oh, I think she already left.
Oh
She
no.
said there was somewhere she wanted to go.
Oh no. Did she want to look for
I
the
almost wonder if it's like they've suddenly had dreams after all this time, and they're trying to go with like your body almost unconsciously wants to go daydream / dream
Somewhere
once you reach
near
that place to recreate
Children
that.
Cave.
But that just feels like so obscure. Like I don't think that can be it.
Please help us tell
That's like the
others
first thing
not
that goes
doing
through my
anything
mind
like
about it. It's like, oh, we haven't dreamed since we were children. We're dreaming vividly of these specific places. We want to go visit these places, and your body's unconscious, like, oh, we're here, let's dream, you know? But I really, really doubt that's what it is. Oh, and I keep meaning to switch. I forgot. I just like running Galon with this team. My overall team is not like an optimal team for fighting. It's literally just like, I like running Raiden Eula. I like having a healer. Yelan makes moving around a little bit faster. I've unironically considered building Sayu just for the purpose of having Galon and Sayu so I can run from place to place faster. I mean, I could just put Sayu in the party and do that, but I have considered doing that. Mushrooms, huh?
sitting over there. It's surrounded by monsters. Come on, let's rescue her.
Yeah. I don't think we get mats from these. One mistake I made early in Sumeru was I did not realize that there are... well, it's not like different drops, but it's likely that you'll get different drops from mushrooms when you
She seems to be in the same condition as Ilma
like have become scorched or I don't remember activated with Electropyro. And so I've always been behind on like the regular mushroom drops. There's luckily a ton to fight in Sumeru, but oh jeez. Like that's one of the mats I'm short on for Nahida's Ascension and Talents. Is because I have a ton of the activated ones and not enough of the regular ones.
Dreaming? But what about Professor Aisha?
I really hope it's not all going to be about people that are
It was all
deceased.
just a dream.
I would feel really bad.
Well, that makes sense. After all, it hasn't changed a single bit.
Why is she standing in front of a plant?
What's it?
Huh.
Nearly 20 years, and it still hasn't bloomed.
What? I mean, it doesn't look like a dead plant, but what kind of plant takes 20 years to
Does
bloom?
it have something to do with your dream? Please, tell us what you mean.
Sorry. I'm still feeling a little groggy. Please give me a moment here. Alright. Where to start?
Just before she left,
This
huh?
plant. So, Professor Aisha gave me this plant just before she left. She was a good friend of my parents and my first real tutor.
She's part of
She was
Amurta.
also an outstanding Amurta researcher.
Amurta. I believe that was one of the two. They mentioned that there were like the 6 Grand Sages and 4 had imprisoned the other 2 for disagreeing with them. I believe Amurta was one of those 2. And I'm still wondering. I was under the impression that one of those 2, I don't know which one it was Tainari's teacher. Because I feel like Tainari, I mean, he mentioned the other Grand Sages were like sent to be part of the Force Watchers, like help them out. So I'm wondering. I mean, we obviously know like they're the Grand Sages, the 6 Grand Sages over each of these like 6 schools of thoughts. So she was probably just part of that. But this just gets me thinking. Because we've seen the design for Farazan, and I was very much under the impression that Farazan was either one of those 2 Grand Sages or part of one of those schools. I don't know for certain though. I also don't know what like Layla is a part of. The new 4-star coming later on this patch. I was really sad when we found out she wasn't actually part of Nahida's banner, because that would have made it much more convenient for everyone. But it's one of those things too, they gotta make money. I get it. As mad as I think a lot of people were. That's it though. I do wonder with Farazan and Layla. Because we know they're both... Well, we know Layla's part of the Academia. I believe Farazan's supposed to be, but I don't actually know.
So you mean she's
I could be completely off the mark on that though. Farazan just could be like someone random. Because I think she's supposed to be the sport unit for Scaramouche, actually. But you have to consider like Goro is the support unit for Ito. And they're both from Inazuma, but they're not, you know. If they've ever even interacted with each other. So,
She hugged
who knows?
me, and we cried for some time until I fell asleep. When I woke up, I was already back home. She still decided to leave, but had left behind a letter for me saying that I was the person she cared for most in this world. She claimed that investigating the abyss could help more ordinary people protect the people and things they care about.
Is this character quest gonna tie into the abyss?
During her past adventures. If she didn't set off right away, she might miss the perfect opportunity.
Guess Ad Astra Abyssosque isn't just a slogan.
Yeah.
She left a seed in the letter, telling me that if it sprouted and bloomed, then she'd come back no matter what sort of risky situation she was in. She said she looked forward to seeing me all grown up. But strangely, I've tried watering it, feeding it.
I wonder if it could be like tied to like if her teacher had like a dendrovision and it's tied to that or something. It'd be really funny if she just gave her something that was going to sprout into leaves. Could you imagine? That'd be so mean, but I could imagine someone just pranking their student like that. I don't think that's what's going on here. But imagine, you tell your student, I'm going on a long trip, take this seed if it ever blooms, then I'm coming back. And it's a seed for like a leaf. And it's just going to grow into a leaf. It'd be so messed up. But I don't think that's what's actually happening here, but still. But it does make me wonder if it's tied to like a dendrovision or something, since everybody in Sumeru appears to have a dendrovision, even though in other nations it's like, I feel like more even spread. You know, aside from like, well, I say that, but we've had Candace, we've had Sino, we've had Nilou, but still. Like, Tainari, we've had the new vision, I can't remember her name, but in the Aranara quest line, the character, the only time we've seen someone receive a vision was Dendro. We know that Al-Haytham has a Dendro vision. We know that his roommate has a Dendro vision. It feels like there's a disproportionate number of Dendro visions in Sumeru compared to, like, I don't know, Animo visions in Mondstadt. I'd have to tally them all up and see. But, like, of the vision holders we know, that's just the impression I've gotten. And to be fair, it kind of makes sense. I don't know if there'd be, like, an in-game explanation, but we didn't have Dendro until this region, you know? But it's like thinking about it, like, Electro visions in Inazuma, you've got what? The Shogun doesn't really count. But, you know, you have your Archon, you have Sara, then, like, Kokomi and Goro, or Hydra and Geo. I guess you have Miko as well with Electro. You have... we've got Heizo with Anima. Like, it just feels, again, like, in terms of that percentage of what people have the vision of the land they're in, it feels like a much higher percentage of Dendro to Sumeru visions to me than, like, Geo to Liyue, Animo to Mondstadt. But there's still room. Like, I've been wondering, I don't know if it's ever been stated, like, what vision type. I would imagine Varka probably has Animo just because he's the Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius. But, like, the Knights of Favonius, for example, if you include Noelle, who wants to be one, most of the Knights of Favonius that we know of, you know, don't have Animo visions. It's like Jean. Whereas you have, like, Lisa with Electro, Kaya with Cryo. I guess it makes sense that they want, like, a spread, but, like, D-Luke was a former knight, he has Pyro. Anyway, another random tangent, sorry. But that's been on my mind a lot too.
Hold on, we'll be right back.
But I want to say, I mean, I could look it up real quick on my second monitor. I think Faruzan is supposed to be...
What's wrong, Nahida? You can't tell what's wrong with the plant either?
Faruzan.
No, I immediately understood what's happening with that plant.
4-star.
I'm just not sure if I should say it.
Oh, she does know what's going with that.
Not known to the academic world.
New species that I managed to cultivate. That's interesting.
That her teacher managed to cultivate by some special means.
She's an enigmatic mechanist.
I can tell from the
She's Animo.
it'll never be able to bloom.
Huh. Okay, and she's a bow user.
It can't be.
So we are getting 2 bow users. I don't know if you could really associate Scaramouche with, you know, Sumeru, so much as that's just when he's showing up.
From my experience observing people, she would undoubtedly regard this as a brutal revelation.
Yeah.
Forced to confront such brutal truths, people may break down into tears.
It's like fight or flight response. They don't know how to process it.
I know she has to face the truth, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt her. Tell me, what should I do? Yeah, that's a tricky one.
I'll tell her, okay. I wouldn't want to be the one to tell her.
Seems like you've
I'd make Paimon tell her.
idea of the feelings she might experience.
She's our guide. The traveler doesn't ever talk. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier, though. The right to know versus ignorance is bliss.
She just gets angry at you instead.
Everyone wants to say, like, I'd want to know, but personally, I'm at that point where I'm like, sometimes I'd rather just be blissfully ignorant.
They're just the most extreme
But maybe that's just me being, I don't know, naive or lazy. But, yeah, there's always a way to work through it. It's part of what lets us grow as people. Maybe that's why I'm not a competent adult. It is cool though, like in a sad way, that our teacher managed to.
It'll never bloom?
I can't believe that's actually what it was. That's really funny.
If a plant is unable to bloom, doesn't that mean it can't reproduce either? All
Yeah.
that's left for it to do is slowly wither away.
I really did not think that was actually what was happening though, is that she gave her a plant that would never bloom. Although of course I don't think it was like a prank, like I was talking about. But I exactly, like, if that is the case, it makes sense.
Are you saying she never intended to return? Seriously? So everything she said was a lie?
I feel like she didn't just like abandon her. I just,
The separation was inevitable. She hoped that you would be
I wonder if we'll ever meet this researcher, or if she is actually going to be confirmed to be deceased. Because she is investigating the abyss after all. That's not exactly
her love, care, and
an easy thing to do.
all those warm
I have an
moments
eyelash in my eye. Ow. Oh,
I
ow.
guess she had hoped that you could understand and respect her choice after learning the truth.
And sometimes
I see.
people don't want to say goodbye, but still, she's been sitting like this for 20 years. You couldn't have just left her like a letter or something?
Just so much to take in. The dreams are so beautiful. Yet reality is heartlessly cold. I really thought she had come
Yeah.
back. I had so much to tell her.
Yeah. Well, the Traveler especially can understand, but the Traveler still has that light at the end of the road of they know the Abyss Twin's still alive.
These dreams may not be as pure and beautiful as they seem. Some kind of power may be exploiting your feelings.
Really?
Yes. So with that in mind, until our investigation is completed, please return to the event and ignore any further temptations from your dreams.
I see. Thank you for rescuing me, and sorry for the trouble. Luckily, the plant didn't get hurt either. Otherwise, I wouldn't have anything left to remember her by.
I'm surprised the plant, I know it's like a quote-unquote like specially cultivated plant from her teacher, but the plants live for 2 decades. It's not like a tree or anything, it looks like a house plant.
Long time to come to terms with her feelings. I saw her waver the moment you mentioned love. It was almost like a gentle rain, arriving just in time to put out a fire that was about to spread. It's because
Love, huh?
people have something called empathy.
Well,
Empathy?
some people do, yeah.
I see. This is valuable knowledge indeed.
This conversation is reminding me of the idea, though. I don't think this NPC is going to get a vision, but the theory that
Maybe something that's trying
there are
to
certain
exploit
parallels
you.
between
Any idea
what
that
vision you
might
see.
be?
Like most Electrovision holders are outcasts of some kind.
Between Ilmon and Katya's cases,
Most
that
Animo
all
characters have had a
lost
friend
their
die.
love. And now,
But,
they get to meet the people they cherish in their dreams again.
I'd have to look up. I know there's threads on that, like,
Anything a regular dream could hope to create.
that I actually have held some weight over time.
Result of their longing,
Like a thematic thing.
I have to consider a more antagonistic explanation. Someone is taking advantage of their
Yeah, so it does seem like there's something behind it. But seriously, what would be the motive? I wouldn't think it, they could just go with it someone from the academia deal, because that would just thematically make sense for Sumeru.
They're just causing
But
these people to dream.
I wonder.
What are they after?
I mean, you say that, but the Greater Lord had to use their dreams as power in some way.
Anyway, let's pay another visit to a
So,
moment
who
of
knows?
dreams.
Who really
Bad
knows?
feeling about all this. I hope things haven't gotten any worse.
Back to a moment of dreams. It's interesting. There. Part of the reason I don't like running Hu Tao in the overworld, and I run a healer instead of Zhongli, is that Zhongli I just think is really boring to play. I mean, Kokomi's not that crazy, it's mostly pop jellyfish, but it's a little bit more interactive in my opinion. The fact that it just irritates me when I'm running around in the overworld without max health. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me in Spiral Abyss, but I don't know, just running around with like a quarter health Hu Tao. Don't enjoy it. Even if she's still actually much stronger than my Eula.
Because of your warning, we've brought dreamers here even if they were completely unaware of the danger. But some of them have already fallen asleep.
Okay.
Haven't woken up for a long time. I fear
yeah, that's not good.
Do about it.
What's concerning is
we don't have enough staff members
yeah. What's interesting is that it's affecting them here. Because at first I thought it was only affecting when they visited that place.
She's back.
I wonder if this ties into us explaining what happened with the Greater Lord.
Why have we been gathered here?
Many of you here have been experiencing some beautiful dreams. But I'm sorry to tell you that based on our investigation, there's some kind of conspiracy behind them. Before we learn the truth, please don't try to recreate the scenes in your dreams. Whatever you see, don't be tempted by them.
Okay.
But
I don't think it's a big deal. Aren't we just dreaming? It's not like dreams will have an effect on others.
We've already met people who ran off to the countryside alone and got caught in dangerous situations by falling to the temptation.
And you've got like 3 people like in comatose states right next to you. Are you really gonna tell, you know, the God of Wisdom?
I get it.
I don't see what the problem is.
So does that mean once we have some conclusive results from the investigation, we can continue to enjoy these
Although they'd
dreams?
probably be more normalized dreams.
I still want to visit my sister in my dreams.
Yeah. You don't tell them yes now, though, because...
I'm sorry if what I'm about to say sounds a little offensive, Great Dendro Archon, but...
Oh, no.
We had a discussion with the folks who just arrived here. In all of our dreams, we were able to reunite with people who were very close to us. They all seemed as if they were alive again, which makes us reluctant to wake up.
So it is, like,
Yes, that's
people
also
who
what
are
we've
deceased, though.
observed in our investigation.
Which makes me think that girl's
So
teacher
the
is
results
probably
of this
gone. Like,
investigation
dead.
put an end to those dreams. That'd be quite cruel to us.
What are you gonna do? Try to stop
All
us?
of us understand the danger, but perhaps you can't quite understand just how much those people mean to us.
You're saying that to the traveler
I
who's
think everyone
been
would
traveling
more
across
inclined to
Devat
abandon these dreams for good.
to save her brother.
Before the
Well,
conclusion of
reunite
the
with her brother,
investigation,
but...
they'll at least want to meet the people in their dreams
Yeah.
one last time and say goodbye.
We've never had such a difficult situation before. It appears that not many people are willing to cooperate.
So they still want to return to their dreams despite knowing the danger?
Yeah, I was gonna say, exactly, it's a matter of perspective.
That's right. Compared with these sweet and beautiful dreams, our warnings of danger are dull and emotionless. It looks like the situation will inevitably spiral out of control. The more time we waste, the more people will ignore our warnings and return to their alluring dreams. So, what should we do? Seems we have to go into a dream and find out the truth for ourselves.
Okay.
Pedro,
This could make for a really
is there
trippy domain.
anyone here who's experiencing a marvelous dream right now?
Let me think. Yes, this way.
Good. Please take us there.
This lady refused to heed our warnings and fell asleep here a little earlier.
She's only asleep and hasn't started sleepwalking. It seems she hasn't sunk too deep into her dream yet. Do we also need to fall asleep if we want to go into her dream? Don't worry about that. I'm Lesser Lord Kusanali after all.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go with that.
Don't be nervous. Just close your eyes. Imagine yourselves as waves gradually rolling onto the beach. You slowly wash over the shore and sink into the sand.
That is really cool. I can't imagine being able to like go into someone else's dream. That'd be weird. But I feel like I've seen that in multiple games. That concept. One of those things that allows for, again, really creative interpretation because it's a dream. People always say anything can happen. Oh, yep, there he was.
You look a little disoriented.
I think when the Genshin anime does finally come out, though, I believe the canon traveler is supposed to be Ether. And I wonder if, like, he'll have, like, the same English VA. I think he also voiced Tanjiro, actually, for the English dub of Demon Slayer. So that'd be really cool. I've actually really enjoyed, like, there's some, like, Among Us videos and stuff out there for him. Really funny stuff. Albedo's voice actor is hilarious. But yeah.
Really? Paimon didn't notice anything.
I mean, we saw the power of, like,
Anyway,
it wasn't a dream, but, like, the Akasha believing all that stuff when the Grand Sage thought he saw Nahida gone when she was right there. Crazy stuff.
But we seem to have landed in a completely unfamiliar place.
And I had wondered that, too. Was everyone dreaming out a very specific place?
Plants! Even in the sky! Amazing. Theoretically, we should have gone straight into Debbie's dream. Things do seem to have gone a bit sideways here. Anyway, let's see if we can find any leads.
Okay, you're the Archon. We've had a good amount of control of Nahida. Like, even if it's just random battles and stuff here and there, usually I really do feel like it's just one domain that you get to control the trial character instead of this. I've still been meaning to. I know, I think it was Blue mentioned it last stream, that Nahida works really well in the Nilou team comp. And that makes a lot of sense. I think she'd also work really well in this Quicken / Aggravate team comp. With where you run Miko and Raiden. My big thought though is both of those teams run, you know, like the Raiden team comp runs Raiden Yai Miko, along with a Dendro, at least one Dendro character, and either support or a second Dendro character. And the Nilou team comp can only run Hydro Dendro because of the way Nilou's passive works. So do you replace, like in the Nilou team comp, do you just run Nilou plus 3 Dendro characters? Do you go half and half? Because I'd probably either throw Yelan or Kokomi in there. And then if that's the case in both those team comps, who do you replace, Kale or Lumine? Because I've really gotten under the impression, I've been messing around with both, and it feels like, as far as Dendro application goes, ease of access and stuff, it feels like it's Lumine. Whereas, like, it's weird because, like, Lumine can't apply Dendro without older elemental skill, as far as I know. Whereas Kale's a bow user, so she could technically charge shot, but that's not the way you're trying to play anyways. It's usually either Traveler or Ian the Lamp versus, what is it called, Colleen Amber and her Boomerang. But the Boomerang's more fun to play with, in my opinion. But I don't know. I don't know. I have a special spot in my heart for both the Traveler, even if, like, they're... Uh-oh. Okay, I thought I was stuck. Even if they're not my favorite characters, because they aren't. I mean, I was about to say, if you look at my profile, my favorite character is very, very obvious. But, you know. It just, like, Traveler was my original main DPS. I know that's very generic, but I played Animo Traveler with, Noelle as a support, and then sub DPS Yongling and Kaya for a very long time. So, Traveler, and I really like Traveler, and I've wanted Traveler to be good for a long time. And, but Kale also. Ever since the manga. Long time ago. Really like the character. It's part of the reason I hate Dottore. I, like... I feel like that's very normal for people who read the manga, that they like Kale and they hate Dottore. But seriously.
Hey, this place looks familiar.
Especially since Dottore also took advantage of, like, the monster that killed Diluc's father. That also was, like, not okay with that.
Looks like we've come to the right place. These alluring dreams often portray a scene from real life, which concurs with our previous findings.
Yeah, there we go. So we actually did find the actual place.
Space we were in just now.
He's a kind of hub. That could be interesting if there's some sinister, like, being or person behind it. It's like the, I don't know what's a good description. Like the train station to all the railroad tracks to people's dreams, you know?
You can't mean...
Got trains on my mind because when I go to work, I get stuck behind a train a few times, and it's the worst thing ever.
Given that so many people have been experiencing these beautiful dreams, I would say it's very likely that they're interconnected. Compared to an interconnected dream,
It's sad. Because imagine if there's like some supplement or something you took that would give you these beautiful dreams, you know, something that you really want to see. If there were no adverse effects like there are here, I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. It's the fact that there are adverse effects.
Are they dreaming too? If this space is exclusive to Debbie's dream,
I doubt it.
beside her are most likely
Could be her family,
Anyway,
parents, and friends.
we should confirm that first, just to be sure. How do we do that?
Why are they so zoomed in on that pot?
Just leave it to me.
That's an interesting angle. Oh, I think I've seen someone talking about this online. She can read the minds of people, but it was like you can only do it in Sumeru, and you can't read the minds of people, like playable characters, or something like that. Just like the specific person. That's a cool little, like, even if it's only in Sumeru, and I don't know if it's like time limited to a certain point, but that's still really, really cool. I haven't actually run Nahida a whole lot still. She's, for me, oops. I thought I was supposed to use E. She's still, so her skills right now for me are like literally level 255.
The coffee here still tastes the same as ever.
And the reason is I need like, so she's level 80 as well.
You have traveled all around to that.
I need to farm better artifacts for her, because my artifacts are pretty booty.
I suppose so. But
And I need to get a bunch of mushroom mats. Like I was talking earlier, I'm just super low on those. And I think I need to beat the Dendro Hypostasis like 4 or 5 more times.
Anyway,
Which is why Lumion was actually in my party. Because you have to have a Dendro character for that. It's just a funny contrast too for me for the Hypostasis. Because when you think about it, like, for example, what was like the earlier Hypostasis? Like the earlier ones you have like the Animal Hypostasis, the Electro Hypostasis, we have the Geo Hypostasis. Most of those are like, it's a weird contrast in that like, for Animo and Electro, and I believe Pyro, they're just immune to that element, so you don't want to bring the characters that you're like trying to level. Like if you're trying to level Kuching or Beidou, you honestly don't really want to take them with you to fight their boss. The Electro Hypostasis will still be less effective. Whereas for the Geo Hypostasis, the Geo characters tend to do pretty well because they can destroy the pillars it summons. Same thing with like, I don't know if the Cryo one really applies, because it's just charge attacks. But like the Dendro Hypostasis, you want a Dendro character. The Geo one, you probably want a Geo character to destroy the constructs, to light those little things so that you can actually beat the Dendro Hypostasis. It's that weird, like, I don't know how to explain it, like disconnect. Where some of the Hypostasis, you want the characters of that type, and some of them, it's like you can use them, but it's not going to be good. Just interesting stuff. Anyway, so I don't think I was supposed to walk that close. She's happy. That's crazy. Who would have thought? It was a smiley face. I was wondering what it was going to be.
how could they be?
But now she's having, like, doubts? I'm confused. Unless she noticed us. We are not auto.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
I've kind of learned my lesson and started playing voiced cutscenes on auto. Otherwise, I accidentally skip stuff.
I've confirmed that this dream belongs only to Debbie, because I'm unable to hear the thoughts of the other 2 people with her. So, this is the power of the Dendro Archon?
Yeah.
Paimon had better watch her thoughts from now on. Don't worry. I don't often use my powers like this. It's rather impolite. Alright.
Well,
I need to get myself ready.
I don't know.
It won't be easy to break it to her, but there's no avoiding it now.
Yeah.
The Great Dendro Archon! What brings you here?
I'm sorry to interrupt your celebration, but have you noticed that what's happening here doesn't quite match up with your memories?
I don't quite understand. Great Dendro Archon. What do you mean?
I get it! The Dendro Archon is trying to say that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we're able to gather here.
Sure.
Cup of coffee for all of you. My
Huh.
We just returned from a
That's
fruitful
interesting.
adventure.
I didn't think that her, like, dream fingers were even gonna talk to us.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?
Think carefully. You of all people should know what really happened to them. Are you sure that meeting here
Yeah.
and chatting the day away like this isn't just a product of your own wishful thinking?
There's nothing wrong with wishful thinking, though, to be fair. Like, it's just when it pulls you away from other things, you know?
The reports from the Steambird were true.
Hmm.
The ship they were on struck a reef and sank.
Oh.
And I never heard from Basima and Gaspar again.
Hey, come on now. What are you talking about, Debbie?
Yeah, trust your memories. Nothing you see here is real.
I get it now. This is a dream, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
But since
sorry.
it's my dream. It doesn't matter if this is real
Yeah,
or
I
not.
was gonna say, like, it.
I enjoy the way things are here. I no longer have
And
to
this is kind
face
of
the
thoughts of
tragedies
everyone
real
at that
life.
little dream event, but
These friends mean the world to
okay,
me.
so they're friends. Okay,
Nobody else
they
can
did seem a bit
understand me like
young
they
to
do.
be like her parents, but
There's nothing wrong with continuing this dream. Is there?
hmm,
I'm worried that if you were to continue dreaming like this, the lines between dreams and reality will gradually become too blurred for you. These dreams will always give you what you want, while reality remains full of pain and difficult situations.
reality is often disappointing,
If you're not careful,
but
you
it can
get
be really
hurt.
beautiful too.
Don't worry. I still have control.
Oh yeah, that's what everyone says as they're falling into addiction.
Are you sure?
I can quit. I've done the same
Let's put
thing.
all this troublesome stuff aside and get back to our coffee and snacks, hmm?
I will come over there and I'll smack that copy off that table. All right,
It's
like,
just a dream or
knock it
real.
off.
You should be happy.
I agree that you should try to be happy, but still, like,
Something like this? We don't even know how you people got here or where
everything. Yeah, I was gonna say everything in moderation. Yeah, these are important people to her, obviously, but like, you know, like I was saying with the guy who's like starting to neglect his child on this quest, everything in moderation. You know, it's when it's too much, like when you're neglecting the people still in your life, stuff like that, or neglecting your duties.
Sorry.
Just kind of
Didn't mean to upset anyone.
part of the balancing act of being a person.
It's all right.
Hmm.
I understand that you're just trying to look out for me.
It seems that for now, this place is still relatively harmless for you.
Hmm.
But I wonder if there's any way to go deeper into the dream.
You're the one who can mess with
Now
people's
that you
dreams.
mention it, I once heard a strange
I don't know
voice
if
tell
anyone
me
else.
that there's an entrance here.
Oh, we have a
I'm
lead
not
then.
interested in checking it out at the moment, but maybe I'll go in and have a look later.
Okay. Thanks for your help.
I really do think it'd be cool if
Just
there's a
as
way
I
to like
expected,
actively
we're
have
only
lucid
on the
dreams,
surface of this dream.
be able to control what you do.
Let's go.
Because I know some people say that they can. I've just never been able to. And I don't know if there's like some kind of science or something behind it, you know? But I've always wondered. I think that'd be really cool. So, I've always wondered. I think characters jump like the same height. So yeah, it looks like, I always thought that was kind of funny. It looks like, say, Raiden's only jumping a little bit, whereas Nahida jumps really high. When you look at like their feet compared to that chair, they jump to about the same height. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. That's one thing I've always noticed and thought was interesting. Is it looks like shorter characters jump much higher because of the proportionate, like, distance. Anyway. Oh, okay.
Huh? What are we doing here again? Wait a second. We were just up there. No, down there?
So we're back in the in-between.
Did we go up or down? Don't panic. This is how dreams work.
I'm so interested to see who or what's behind this. Because she said that she heard a voice, that makes me think there's someone behind it, but who could it be? It couldn't be the Greater Lord, I don't think.
This dream has the ability to create imaginary
So.
people, which is why
Huh.
people are so unwilling to wake up. If it weren't for what we just saw, Paimon might still find that a bit hard to believe. I have a guess. If these dreams are connected, then there should be some sort of order.
But seriously, who get, like, what,
The fact that
who or
Debbie
whatever
was
is
able to
behind it?
realize that she was dreaming means that she
What
has
would
not
they have
gone
to
deep in the
gain?
dream yet.
You know?
But the space we're in has been turned
Again, I know that, like, Greater Lord drew from their power in their dreams at some point, but
Dreams that I mentioned earlier?
I don't see
Dreams are chaotic.
how anyone else could,
That's
you know?
right. It's possible that we're heading deeper into this dream now. And the deeper we go, the closer we'll
Maybe
get to the essence
it's
of
like
the dream.
Nahida's familiar, you know? Like Miko, Ashtaha, and Dvalin. That'd be interesting, because we haven't seen anything like that for Nahida. I just assumed if there was something like that, it'd be the Trance domain and it'd be the second, you know, second one, but maybe that's just me. Is that... I had to take it from here to here. Was that really necessary? Oh boy. No, knowing me, that's the type of thing I'd have just run straight by and not realized. If there wasn't like a mark for it. Okay. Yeah, I really like this skill. I think it's just really cool. I also can really appreciate that you don't have... Oops. You don't have to, have like everything in that square. It's like you just mark everything, move along for the duration of the skill. But I really like the Quicken team. I know people have been using to make like Kuching a really good character nowadays. Which Kuching was actually my first... Kuching was actually my first 5-star. I don't know if there's any way like other games to like sort characters out in the order you attain them. I know if you go to the character selection, like the character archive in the escape menu, you can see the date for when you obtain characters. But I'm pretty sure like... I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, free chest. But my first 5-star was Kuching. What's interesting... Oh. What's interesting is that, Ow, ow. What's interesting is that I had C1 Kuching before I had... Well, I want to say I had, like, as far as, like, because I lost most of my early... I think I lost my first 5 50-50s in this game. I want to say, so I had Kuching, then I got Raiden Shogun. Then I want to say I got Jean, then I want to say I got C1 Kuching. It was something like that. And yet, despite everything, I know there's all the memes about Chi-Chi. The 5-star character I've lost my 50-50s to the most is actually Jean, which I don't really mind. I actually really like Jean. Because when you think about, like, the... like, standard banner characters that you can lose a 50-50 to, Tynar is still very new. But if I'm going to use a Dendro character nowadays, it's usually for Dendro application, which I don't believe he's the best at. You could lose it to D-Luke, but D-Luke has never been a character that I enjoyed playing. I didn't have him back in the day when he was, like, the best. And since then, I don't mind the character. I actually really like his backstory, but, like, when I think about, like, the characters I could lose 50-50 to, Mona, I don't do, like, one-shot compilations. She's okay for Hydro application, but I have Yelan. Chi-Chi, I don't really use anymore. I used to use her a little bit, but not really. But Jean was nice because she was... like my third 5-star. She was my first dedicated healer because I never built Barbara. And Noah doesn't really... You could use their heal, but not exactly, you know? Just interesting stuff. Like, if I was going to lose a 50-50 to a standard banner character, I would genuinely probably say it'd be Jean. Right now. Just interesting stuff. Yeah. I hate those wolves, though. I still remember when those wolves would hit you once, though, and the bleed would drain like a third of your health. It was horrifying. It's back when people were super mad. They're like, oh, Zhongli's not going to be good anymore. Because they realized that they couldn't nerf Zhongli without making people really mad. They started making shield-piercing enemies, and it made people really mad anyways. Like, I enjoy this game very casually. But Zhongli, for a long time, was basically just like, why even play the game? Use whole D, and then your character is immortal. And you didn't even have a good build for Zhongli. He could have, like, not that much HP. Just funny stuff. That's his wife, you know?
But fortunately, he already knows this from before, so hopefully we'll be able to wake him up.
Yeah. Looks like we're maybe going in reverse order for who we met in the real world. And just kind of waking them up in their dream worlds, which is really cool. Like, I'm actually really enjoying this character quest. It isn't the direction I thought it was going to go. I thought it was either going to explain what happened to Skarmosh, which, to be fair, would have been more of like a Skarmosh character quest, you know? Or talk about, like, Raider Lord. And kind of returning those memories to her. Which was mentioned, but was definitely not, like, the focal point.
Rarely happen to me in real life these days. me introduce everyone. This is Minar, my wife, who I mentioned before. And this is our daughter, Hydar.
But now he's starting to neglect his actual daughter. Because he has his daughter in the dream with him.
Oh, Dad, you know the Dendro Archon?
Hmm.
That's amazing! And what's this? Is it a new toy?
Oh no.
No, it's Paimon, not a toy! Anyway, now's not the time for that! Nahida, this doesn't seem to add up with what we were expecting!
Yeah, when does anything, you know?
You're right. Let me think for a bit here.
Oh no. Oh no. Did he not remember that we had to fight a bunch of monsters when we got there?
Oh, right! We didn't see him in a moment of dreams earlier. Paimon thought he'd gone home.
Sorry. I just had to make sure that Hydar
This
could get a
isn't
chance
the
to
real
see me.
Hydar.
I had gotten pretty familiar with the hike. So
Oh,
I
he did
brought
bring Hydar.
Hydar with me.
Oh.
I'm just glad we didn't meet any monsters.
What
like
happened to
that.
not being able to pull other characters in
Yes,
dreams?
I'm glad too.
I wonder.
I didn't expect her to grow up so fast.
Maybe we should have used Nahida's skill on them. That would have told us, you know, if this is him actually bringing his daughter in his dream or it's him being a bad dad.
Let's leave all that unhappy stuff behind for now. Even if we're in a dream, it's still a blessing that we've been able to reunite in this way.
Yeah, like, it's not, in my opinion,
What should we do now?
like,
Should we...
an all bad thing. It's a very gray area, in my opinion, but still.
You can let me break the news.
Oh,
I should be the one to do it.
okay.
I'm sorry, but I should tell you that your dream did not create us. We are real people with our own consciousness. Like the last time we met, we are still investigating this dream, and we've already learned some things about it.
So you mean there's something nefarious with this dream as well?
Yeah. Which is sad, because from his perspective, it's just a blissful...
Reunion of our family
Yeah.
is destined to only be temporary.
I'm so sorry, dude. I actually feel really terrible about these dreams.
But in all likelihood,
It reminds me in some way of a more lighthearted version of what happened on the Demon Train in Demon Slayer. Or the Infinity Train or whatnot. Really, really sad stuff.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand what's going on. Don't worry, Hydar.
Bit more cryptic though, in that we don't actually have like a
Please don't
upper moon, you know, some character that we're like, this is your fault.
Any of this.
We don't even know if there's like malicious intent behind these dreams for sure.
Aware that this is a dream. So that's why I've never told her the truth, but never mind.
I want to see if I do get the opportunity to use Nahida here, because I am really confused if this is actually his child or if it's just another, you know,
But regardless
way.
of whether this dream is good or bad,
Because even if his dreams have extreme continuity, part of that continuity, to my understanding, wasn't that he'd bring his daughter in them with him. So,
let us enjoy this moment for just a while longer.
at least until we're finished investigating, you know.
Of whatever caused this dream to come to pass, I feel extremely grateful to have had the chance to reunite with my family.
Yeah.
But does this dream really have to disappear?
I'm afraid so. Sorry.
Okay. I see. Please, come this way.
Okay.
You can go even deeper into the dream by heading in this direction. I have heard that the further down you go, the more pleasant the dreams become. And the more...
And I mean, like, that's horrifying. Because even if the background's a little bit, like, murky, him being able to reunite with his
Thank you for helping us.
daughter and wife, you know,
I'm truly
in a happy
sorry.
setting, in a nostalgic place, is...
It's not like I have any say in the matter. I'm just an
Oh,
ordinary
you don't have to be spiteful about it. But, you know, that alone would obviously be very hard to tear yourself away with,
I'll be right behind you.
you know.
I should at least let Minar and Hydar
I feel like we're
know
gonna
what's
see
going
something
on
even
here.
more tragic, maybe.
Otherwise, my daughter might be mad at her mother after we wake up.
Oh. So hold on now.
We're not doing something bad,
Oh.
are we, Nahida? That depends on how you define good
Huh.
and bad.
Well, good and bad are subjective. So is it not the... Oh. Haidar doesn't have the symbol over her? I'm actually really confused about that. Because I thought...
Is this too cruel for Haidar?
That's confusing. Anyway. Sure, somebody online's figured out what the truth is there. I was trying to figure out if it was actually like he brought his daughter with him and it pulled her into his dream. Or what was going on there. But she didn't have the symbol there, so... That actually insinuates that he's, you know, really neglecting his actual daughter.
More and more aggressive. Regular stairs wouldn't try to attack us.
Right. Something seems to be off about our theory. Ilmon is clearly aware that he's dreaming, and he's enjoying it. Rather than dreaming on a deeper level, he almost seemed more awake.
That is true compared to how he was in the real world.
I believe we're on the right track, but we just need another explanation.
I mean, you've already lost me, Nahida, honestly.
It's the owner's attachment to the dreams that's getting stronger.
Yeah,
but
I mean...
You would never mistake dreams for real life, right?
Yeah, although sometimes I wish I could. But they explain, like, I guess they did kind of say that. Like, the deeper it goes, the less you want to leave, but...
Sometimes
still.
Paimon almost wishes her dreams could be real.
Like the ones where you got murdered as a slime?
Quick thought. It's not long before Paimon's thinking about other things, like sticky honey roast.
Listen,
Yeah.
we're real beings living in the real world, and that's where our focus should be.
Yeah.
This also explains the insubstantiality
Yeah,
of
they're
our dreams.
really hitting their
No matter what they mean,
games audience, aren't they?
here.
I'm just as
If
guilty of
we
it as the
decide
next
to
guy,
adopt
but...
reality and embrace our dreams, then our
Jeez.
dreams will become far more substantial.
Oh, right. Paimon's starting to get it now.
Your mind
What would he supposed to do, try and make their actual lives better?
Which in turn will make it feel more real. Do you remember how the Akasha can turn dreams into jnana energy? Constructing a realistic dream consumes a similar energy.
Oh, are we real? We're really going Inception if that's what that is.
Does that mean there's a host of these dreams here like Nilou during the Subzerus festival?
That would be crazy, actually.
If we wake that person up, this collective dream will end.
That is actually not what I thought they were going with. And that quest did blow my mind. I really didn't think it was Nilou, by the way, during that Archon quest.
By the Akasha, and now the Akasha has been turned off. This has nothing to do with the Aranara, and humans are not capable of creating a collective dream, which means...
Could it be one of the... I thought the 4 Grand Sages that were doing something wrong. So maybe it is someone within the Academia, but I didn't think it could be a Grand Sage.
Someone managed to restart the Akasha?
Because we know 2 were imprisoned.
That's impossible. But they are
Yeah, it might
probably
just be a normal
in
scholar.
the Academia who had a close connection with the Akasha.
I'd be really surprised if it was a Grand Sage, because I thought the 4 that had
How did
caused
they
everything to
do
happen
it?
were currently around
They chose the
Tainari.
host.
So, who knows?
We haven't gotten to the end yet. Once we know their motive, all the questions will resolve themselves.
I really like the design of this place, though. They have similar designs to some of the domains around here, and I really like them.
Illusion The Temple of Wisdom. I see everything.
Torn to oblivion.
Anyway. I swear, like, aside from the boss that change in Floor 12 of Spiral Abyss, there's like 5 of those things that show up at a stupidly high level. And like my time on that floor is dependent on how... I usually use my Hu Tao team for that one. And it's usually... my time is usually dependent on how many I hit with each charge attack. Like this last Spiral Abyss was the first one in a while that I didn't have to repeat any of Floor 12 to get 36 stars. But it was because I beat those like 5, I think it's like chamber, it was, I want to say it's chamber 3. I did it in like 10 seconds. It was like 15, I think. Whereas ordinarily it could be like 30 to 45 because I'm not hitting every single one. I could back out, I guess, and run over there and see which floor it is, but I feel like Spiral Abyss is usually like, at least the past few. Because floor 12 isn't involved with, like the blessing of the moon or whatever that it shows, the buff that you get. So it's usually... Oh, we were supposed to turn off the water. In the location with temporarily... Okay. Is there one of the little... Yeah. Is there another one? Or do we just... I always get into these domains and wish that I'd brought Kazuha with me, I swear. Okay, here we go. I don't know what it is. A lot of the Sumeru domains have required, or at least been much easier if you have a Dendro and a bow user. In fact, making Kale really valuable in some of those. But there have been several that I've just gone back and caught in Kazuha, even back to like previous events, like the Golden Apple Archipelago. I swear the Fischl Dream is like 10 times easier in certain places if you have Kazuha, because you can just skip the puzzle. Alright, but I don't remember what I was saying I had to do about that. There was something about standing in the platform and then... Oh. I just... Oh. Okay, I just had to hurry. That's fine. Am I stuck? Oh. Okay.
We finally made it! The destination is right ahead!
I've actually been wondering... Oh, I was about to say, I want to check what artifacts they give. I know they don't always give trial characters the, like, best artifact sets. But I was looking it up, and people were saying you do go with the EM set. Not the one that comes from the same domain in Sumeru. Not the Dendro damage bonus one. The one that gives you, like, EM. Which makes sense, I just wonder if that's what they did. I feel like they usually give you like Constellation 3 on trial characters.
So it's usually easy for me to tell who's dreaming and who's created by dreams. I guess only those who have thoroughly accepted this dream will be able to come here.
The people who are so deep in that they don't want to leave.
How can we find the host?
This really does remind me of the Sabzer's Festival, jeez.
Don't worry, I have a way.
And that was a horrifying, like, dream. Being stuck in that loop, like, over and over and over. That's the stuff of nightmares for me. Yeah, they give you C3. For me, I'm one of those players that, like, I know some people like to just have, like, let's get, like, C6 on a few characters. But I'd rather just have, like, every character. That's why I have so many characters with very few constellations for, like, any character. Because I do like Battle Pass Boken, and then I will occasionally, you know. Not gonna say I don't spend money on that, but it's very rare. It's only been on a few specific banners. Like, basically, it's actually been on the weapons that I have. I mean, the banners that I have their weapons for. Like, I didn't actually roll on Venti's weapon, but, like, it was like this one, this one, this one, and I believe these two were on a banner together at one point. Those are, like, the banners that I did spend a little bit more money on. But aside from that, I genuinely feel like in this game, playing free-to-play is rough. I did it for a long time. I know how it is. It does vary from, like, event to event, what you get and whatnot. But going Welkin Battle Pass, you can reliably get a soft pity and a patch at least, so. And it's not too much, but it's one of those things for me. I think you have to just be in moderation, because I've been in a position where I've gotten sucked into games. Like, oh right, we have to use our E. But like, my console Overwatch account I haven't touched in years, and I spent a ton of money on that account. You know, just kind of crazy.
Lisa's always so calm.
Yeah, I would assume you find these kind of groupings of characters. And, like, it'll be like this guy, someone who's missing, who's passed on, you know? But actually, I can't get over how cool this part is. Even if it's just something simple that doesn't really have a whole lot of application elsewhere. Super cool stuff. I do wonder if it's going to be someone we recognize, though, because... I wasn't under the impression. Is it actually Omen? How did he get here? I thought he wasn't... Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, it couldn't be Omen. I was just confused as to why he was here. Oh, okay. So it was not someone we knew of. Or had like met. It is a scholar though. Go figure.
I've heard that plants grow better if you play music for them. And on that note, it's been a while since I last heard you play.
Sorry, I've been a little busy these last couple days.
So I wonder if this is just the host of the dream or if he's the one behind it, because he does look like a scholar. Who knows? And it would make sense for someone doing something like this to also have someone that they're missed, you know, they miss really dearly that's passed on.
What a pleasant surprise.
Oh, welcome, Great Dendro Archon. And your companions, too. Welcome. I'm Amira. I run the flower shop here. And this is my husband, Moses.
Yes, how may we help you?
You already know all about me. There's no need for all the pleasantries.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should call you the dream's owner?
As expected of the Dendro Archon.
What was that villain laugh?
It seems my research has attracted the Dendro Archon's attention. Why don't you go back to the flower shop? I'll come help you a little later.
Okay, of course, dear. I'll see you later.
Why is that always a scholar from the academia, though? Not even like the Grand Sages. It's always somebody doing something sketchy in this region.
It appears that I was too naive to think I could deceive the Dendro Archon in person like this.
And now we're getting these just...
To avoid
this villain
like
speech.
A fool, allow me to ask the first question. How well would you say you understand this dream?
This dream was built by the Akasha, and it has the power to create imaginary people who no longer exist in the real world. As for you, you found a unique way to become the owner of this dream.
Oh.
Going so far as to have even given the
Well, where's his
ability to
body?
wake up
His
again.
real body, I mean, I wonder.
Given up the ability to wake up?
Impressive. You truly are the embodiment of wisdom. Please, tell me how you were able to arrive at such a conclusion. In return, I'll answer the question you're most curious about.
It's simple. Apart from you, this space only consists of real people who are dreaming and imaginary people who are created here. Although you are here and appear no different from the others, I can't sense your dream.
Oh, okay.
How can I wake up a person who's already awake?
Fascinating.
Since you're the fully awake owner of this dream, it can never collapse from you waking up.
Huh.
Theoretically, this should also give you absolute control over this place. I have to admit, it really doesn't get much better than that. But even knowing all of that, one question remains. How did you do it?
How did he get control of the Akasha again? I thought it had to have the Gnosis
Dendro Archon. It's because I've
to use the
dedicated my
Akasha,
entire
and I thought we
realm to
removed it
this
from the
dream.
Akasha.
I uploaded my
In fact, I thought the
entire
Tori had
consciousness
it.
into the Akasha when it was still running.
Oh. And now it's like you put it in like a cyber reality or something. Now that it's shut off, you can't leave. That's crazy.
Actually, this all started because of an accident. My original goal was not about the Akasha or a collective dream.
No. You were motivated above all to create a hyper-realistic person. The desire to reconnect with a real loved one is the one shared sentiment between all our dreamers.
That's right. However, human models are too complicated. Only the Akasha has a jnana energy supply powerful enough for me to generate and sustain my models. The Akasha is truly magnificent. If I siphoned a minuscule amount of its energy, nobody would even notice. And even this minuscule amount
Well,
of
it was
energy
powered by
would be
Gnosis, I
more than
suppose.
enough for my purposes. Even using just crude methods, I was still able to train a fairly realistic person. I named my first work Amira.
Huh? You mean the girl we just saw?
She and I entered the academia on the same day. Starting with admission procedures, we bumped into each other 6 times on just that first day. And because of that one day, we eventually went on to fall in love. We studied, conducted research, and made breakthroughs together. Our rhythm was always in step. I felt like we were 2 separate bodies that shared the same heart.
Huh.
However, Elazar later took her from me.
And we were too late to stop Elazar. Yeah, well, it doesn't make what you're doing the right thing to do.
Training samples to perfect Amira's personality. I found their details in the Akasha's database. Using the pretext of testing for mental health disorders, I implanted signaling devices in their bodies. This way I could connect them to a network, and Amira could feel their yearning. Little by little, they helped her to grow and develop a warm, human personality. To improve my efficiency and allow myself to focus on nothing but my research, I uploaded my consciousness as well, and became a part of the network.
So, technically speaking,
yeah.
It's not that you won't wake up.
I mean,
it's that you can't wake up.
I genuinely wonder how we're gonna knock this out then, because
was suddenly turned off. I lost all of my Jnana energy.
we're not gonna turn the Akasha back on because we can't. We don't have the Gnosis anymore, so I wonder.
First, I panicked. But after coming to grips with the situation, I realized that I could restart this world as long as I could find a replacement source of Jnana energy.
That means everyone in the network is providing you with Jnana energy.
Oh. Huh.
That's all there really is to it. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I'm just saving them as well as
Yeah, of course you don't. That's also a very common theme with the Academia.
I harvest their Jnana energy as fuel for the dream. They can wake up anytime they wish. People need to sleep anyway, so why not have some beautiful dreams while they're
I agree. This is the home we spent a great deal of effort on to build for ourselves.
Yeah, she's right. We're staying here of our own free will.
I don't understand this at all, but I just want to spend some more time with my family. I don't want them to be sad.
Thank you, dear. Great Dendro Archon.
They're really trying to like tug on the heartstrings for us to leave this be. But we know we're not going to.
Dendro Archon is nothing if not kind and considerate towards her people.
Oh, he's laying it on thick. Why? Like, I swear, 9 out of 10 researchers here, you just want to just suck. Just super hard.
It seems like I won't need you to answer my last question. You're willing to tell me all your secrets because you have nothing to fear. If you use real people as your weapon and turn them against their Archon, then there's nothing the Archon can do.
They just want to be with the people they cherish.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oh my gosh.
They don't wish to eternally part with their spouses and friends. What's so wrong about that? If you understood humans,
this felt so much more like reasonable to me actually before we met this guy.
Of loss, then perhaps you wouldn't be so cold towards us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that's where her losing those memories kind of come into place.
For a just cause. You could have become a sage of the new generation. Unfortunately, you've committed one of the 6 cardinal sins of the Academia by attempting the forbidden and fearing none. You equated people's feelings with cold Jnana energy and deprived them of the pain that they have to face. You lured them into these dreams, and even now, remain completely unaware of how evil all of this truly is.
Pain? Luring? Those kinds of things haven't existed here from the moment this world was created.
She's right here. This is Ilmon's child, Haidar.
Huh? My daughter? What's wrong with her?
This dream relies on a set network, which means that only those with devices...
This answers that question I had earlier about that.
Carefully think back and retrace your steps.
I secretly went back to the mountainside with Haidar. Minar was already there waiting for me, and Haidar was able to see her mother. You mean...
Yeah.
She isn't actually the real Haidar?
No, because unlike you, she can't enter this dream. The moment you came into this dream, it created a Haidar to realize your wish of reuniting with your family. So, tell me.
Yeah.
Where's the real Haidar?
She's sitting on a potentially dangerous, mountain.
That's right. And she must have been terrified to see her father not in his right mind. Not to mention the monsters in that area. This situation is very dangerous.
If Hydar's still out there, then...
What are you talking about, Dad? I don't understand.
I must wake up right now. I can't leave her there alone.
Oh.
It seems the others have also remembered something.
Yeah.
People try to avoid pain and stay in their perceived bubbles of safety out of an instinct to protect themselves.
It's breaking out of your comfort zone.
Human nature, but it is also one of their weaknesses. However, why are there still
And sometimes it doesn't always work out. I had a lot of anxiety before learning how to do streaming and stuff, but I really do enjoy it. Stuff like that.
People don't only live for themselves. They have families, loved ones, friends, and communities. They have dreams that they are still trying to achieve. But in this dream, you showed them only the most comfortable and soothing things. This entire world has been built on the foundation of buried and unseen pain. It's all just a well-devised scam.
Oh.
It seems like I've stayed in the dream for
Dang. That call out was
so many things I haven't done.
almost feels like we just got a taste of what the God of Justice might be in
That
Fontaine.
would have explained why they created such a flawed world where countless tragedies took place. I didn't expect you to arrive at the answer through sheer power of observation, but unfortunately it means nothing now.
Oh yeah.
If you wanted to spend a little time in the waking world, go right ahead. In any case, I wanted to spend some time alone with Amira. As long as this dream continues to exist, you'll come back.
Oh.
Humans aren't as strong as you think.
So now you want to just
And
break
even
down
if
your
you're
world?
God, they won't always listen to you. It's time to purge all the extraneous data and noise.
Even if the Akasha's turned off, does he really have the ability to overpower? Oh. That's not what I was expecting to happen, actually.
Please get out of here and find somewhere safe.
I am the master of this dream. I can create endless waves of monsters with the snap of a finger.
Yeah, well.
Don't worry, they'll wake up before they get hurt. Amira doesn't like to see others in pain.
She already has burst again?
You know
Jeez.
what's good for you.
Or did I not burst before? Yeah, that link that she creates too. Super powerful stuff.
Illusion shattered. Busted. Game's up. Fun's over. Crush.
Huh. Anyway. It's cutscene time.
You haven't won just yet. This dream is mine! If I go into hiding here, not even an Archon can ever find me. And as long as people yearn for happiness, they will return here and rebuild this paradise!
Good old villain monologues, huh? Oh, that's an interesting effect. Oh. It's like the constructed people that they basically dreamed into existence, not turning into monsters. Good job.
Amira! Amira! Amira!
And it's that lack of empathy this guy has. He doesn't care when it's someone else's, but then he's like, oh no. Now it's happening to me.
Amira, are you alright?
I don't feel well.
No, no, no! Please, no!
Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of your own actions coming back to haunt you. Did he just... Oh! Did we just watch that? Is it just the golden wolf? Did we just watch that man die?
Ruin my flowers. What should I do? Where did...
Honestly, at first I thought this was going to be the straight up golden wolf lord boss. This isn't that bad. Although it is another bleed enemy, so there's that.
Am I? I'm not Amira.
Glad that's over. But what happened just now? He's not very proficient in using the Akasha's technology, and he spent a lot
Yeah.
of mana energy creating monsters. Now the system is out of control. All the people he created also turned into monsters, including Amira. It's terrible, even for a dream.
I mean, I'd feel a lot worse for him if he hadn't just gone on an evil monologue. You know?
Imagine what they're going through. The good news is that the chaos seems to have subsided. Now we only need to wake up the people here and let them return to their real lives.
Again, there's nothing wrong with him actually having dreams. It's just not
Dear Amira,
this.
they're all gone. It was just a big dream after all. I
Yeah.
couldn't change my fate, and my knowledge turned out to be useless. What a cruel world.
Hmm.
Do you still think this is our fault?
I don't care about that anymore. The Jnana
Jeez.
energy used to sustain this dream has all been transformed into monsters. This dream will soon collapse in my consciousness along with it.
Wonder if he's gonna pop back into his actual body.
Amira,
Because I wonder how long he's been
rather turn into
in this
dust
state.
to ever wake up again.
Hmm.
It seems that everything that's happened is too much for him. He's lost all hope. I think seeing Amira turn into a monster was punishment enough.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he'd even said, like, let's get revenge on the Grand Sage, and now they're doing community service. She's generally pretty
It's time to
forgiving.
revisit the meaning of existence.
Existence?
Hmm.
I'm different from the others. I've long given up everything outside of my consciousness.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Using my knowledge of the Akasha,
We can go now,
I
though.
have a
Like,
way to extract your consciousness from here.
Oh, okay.
And put it inside a knowledge capsule. The academia has probably kept your body, so you should be able to wake up soon.
No need. Just let me disappear. Reality means nothing to me now.
Hmm.
This isn't compassion. I won't let you escape your
Yeah.
punishment by simply disappearing. As for your life after that, it'll be up to you how you want to exist. Alright, Traveler in Paimon,
Nahida is a very forgiving god, no, for sure.
we can finally wrap up this whole...
She doesn't sugarcoat things. It reminds me of Zhongli actually telling the one worshipper about the truth behind the god of salt. Very, very, like, there's no sugarcoating it, but still. Just interesting stuff. Hmm.
What's wrong, Nahida? Oh, nothing. Let's tell the people here to gather at a moment of dreams after they wake up.
Hmm.
Oh, great. You're awake.
Hmm?
Everybody has started to wake up, and we've heard similar reports from around the city as well.
That's good. Yeah, that was a really interesting quest, though. I really liked it. I really have... There have not been, like, any character quest, though, that I can think of that I didn't get sucked into and enjoy.
Shortly, so please do your best to maintain order. I need to go to the academia with them now, but we'll be back soon.
But I will say, some standout ones to me for sure. I mean, if I think of character quests, some of the ones that were more standout to me, I remember... I don't even remember some of the earlier ones, to be fair. Well, I remember, like, the book. I remember... Cleese was really cute. Jeans was very heartwarming. I'm trying to remember. I really liked Eula's. I remember... Obviously, I know I mentioned I liked the Archon ones. Ganyu's was very touching. Tartaglia's actually made me almost like the character, and I remember they tried to mass murder everyone. Yelan's actually thought was really interesting because I think I might have streamed that one actually, maybe. But I remember thinking that it would be really interesting if she became the Tianchu. Hu Tao's was actually really, really good. Like I said, I mean, I could go over all these. I really liked Yai Miko's. Hers actually made me really sad when she said goodbye to the yokai. But almost all of these were just really good. Like, the character quests, like I was saying, like, I don't think that they're necessarily... Oh, what was she saying? Oh, I didn't see what she was saying.
We can leave the rest to the Matra.
But, I don't think that... Well, I think they are generally supposed to be canon, I think. They're one of those things that you could not do, those character quests, and not really, like, miss out on anything super important aside from, like, Trounce domains. But I think they really do well with the character quests. The hangout events are fun, but they don't quite hit me most of the time nearly as hard as, like, the character quests. Like, I can't think of a single one that I was like, wow, that was a terrible character quest. I think they do a good job with them.
How can I help you?
I would like to check the registration records of a Kashara War scholar. He should be in an unconscious state right now.
Okay, just a moment.
But yeah, I can't imagine that shutting off your, like, consciousness in some kind of technological system. Yeah. But then that system gets shut off and you're just trapped. I think I've actually seen that, like, as a parody of a Pokemon thing. Like a Pokemon getting shut in a PC and then it getting turned off.
Isn't his name Moses? I guess he didn't want to be recognized or bothered by anyone.
I mean, unless he changed his appearance. Bainuni, huh? I mean, at least he had that foresight, imagine. I mean, getting just destroyed.
It's simple. This contains his consciousness. It's long been trapped inside of a dream.
Very matter-of-fact about that.
It affected the safety of Sumeru. After he wakes up, I'll inform the General Mahamatra of all the details.
I see. I'll take care of this right away. Thank you, Great Dendro Archon.
No problem. Alright. Everyone should have gathered at a moment of dreams by now. Let's head back.
Interesting. But I've seen memes about people. I've never played like the Phoenix Wright like attorney games, but I've seen a lot of memes that people think the God of Justice is going to be like that, which he could be. But kind of that like lack of escaping punishment we see from like Zhongli and Nahida. And actually, honestly, like the divine judgment of the Shogun and whatnot. Like, I wonder if it's just going to be a more extreme / unique version of that.
I'm sorry for interrupting your beautiful dreams. I may have acted a little cold when handling things in the dream. I sincerely apologize for that.
We never did get a chance to tell her about the Greater Lord, though. I wonder if we're still going to.
They inspire us to remain resolute in the face of adversity and help those with aspirations achieve their desires.
That's very true, though.
Dreams also have the potential to exploit people, confuse the senses, and distort the truth. Unfortunately, you are all chosen as prey for an elaborate scheme. As I've said before, I am still learning, and cannot fully empathize with the pain of all the loss you've experienced. But just take a good look around.
But she's trying.
And you'll see many other people
you know?
who have had similar experiences. You should be proud that you've been able to gather here and look toward the future together. The path of life is long, and it's hard for us to see the destination. This leads us to ask a lot of difficult questions. What's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of my existence? Why do I keep experiencing pain and loss? Of course, the most comfortable choice is to stop progressing. Give up thinking, and just keep repeating whatever you're already familiar with. Whenever you have such thoughts, just look at the people and
even if it's just a baby step. Taking a baby step out of your comfort zone, you know?
all day so that their families can have a hot meal on the table at night. Some people travel all over the world in order to create art that resonates with all of Teyvat. Some venture in search of the world's secrets to prevent rapidly approaching, yet still unknown world-shattering catastrophes. Life is not just about yourself. Each and every one of your actions shapes you and the world.
I really do wonder if that one girl with the plants teacher was like had a dendrovision. Or she just like cultivated new plant.
And even some people you've never met may benefit from your actions. Therefore, many people will strive forward to forge new paths, even if they have to endure great pain to do so. Once you begin your journey on that same difficult yet rewarding path, You'll come to know the answers to those big existential questions, yet they will no longer feel as life-defining as they did before. But if you were to believe that life is nothing but an empty, ephemeral dream, then that's also the only thing it'll ever become. You are free to choose how you want to live your lives, but as your Archon, I should first make this information known to everyone. In the end, it's up to you whether you want to embrace a beautiful dream at the cost of your real life.
That's really cool, though. It's like inspiring in a weird way, but also like the fact that she still explains, like, it is still your choice, you know. And that's one thing that I was trying to like mention, you know. My thoughts on it was like, it's not exactly wrong to want to live your life in a comfortable way, but you have to consider what you're sacrificing. What else is there in your life? Yeah.
The weaknesses of human nature, but perhaps he himself had fallen prisoner to them long ago. That dream was incredibly beautiful and enticing. Ordinary people couldn't see through it and easily lost themselves within it. But as long as you can still wake up, you can still move forward with your life. Huh? What makes you say that?
Yeah, she's doing much better.
You said that you didn't understand.
That's what we call character growth.
We saw how considerate you were with all these people. Your speech just now really connected with everyone. You did a good job. Thank you. I've heard a lot of sad stories along this journey, and several of them have touched my heart. You can't say that the victims of the dream really did anything wrong, and what they wanted was also not unreasonable. That's why I could understand them when they tried to resist us and protect the dream. But all of my understanding and stirred feelings probably can't even account for even 1% of the pain they've experienced. I don't think this 1% can be seen as an example of what you call empathy. You're too hard on yourself, that's for sure.
Yeah, I say. There's no such thing as like 100% empathy. You know?
Alright. I suppose
Because at the end of the day, even if things are very, very similar, everyone's still unique. Part of empathy is though trying to like connect with them.
That's why it's hard for me to put them into words sometimes. Benuni, or Mercedes, said that I had never personally felt the pain of loss.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there is that. I still don't really want to tell the truth about that, but
The moment I entered the
we'll see.
I felt like I was wrapped in a blanket of warm feelings. It was so warm that it felt like I had returned to the start of my life, and I didn't want to wake up anymore.
I'm still confused as to why only the Traveler is able to remember. I get that she's not of the world, but like, just interesting like semantics. Because she's affected by other things that don't affect, say, Archons. Like the Tori's like sleep thing that he did.
After they have been erased, but I can still see the slight indentations of where the words had been written.
That's another really good analogy. That makes sense.
I've experienced this dream, I think I can say
Okay.
with confidence that I won't dwell too much on the meaning.
But yeah, that's actually a really good analogy. Like we're writing on a paper that's been erased. You know that there's something there, but you can't remember what it is.
And its existence has allowed me to get to where I am today. If I dwell too much on its exact nature, I would be putting the cart before the horse. I gave a speech to inspire my people.
They really do have really good analogies for this part of the story.
Those words myself,
Makes sense for the God of Wisdom, but for me that it just lines up really well with my line of thought, because I'm the type of person that like, it's like the Myers-Briggs. It's like intuitive, I think is the category, versus sensory. I want to say it's one of those categories. It's like the people that just kind of, I don't know how to explain it, like their brains accept it like at face value almost, from my understanding, or like people like me who try to make connections. So I'm constantly making comparisons. This reminds me of this, because that's just how my brain works. Yeah, it's not important. I'm glad that we don't have to tell her. Actually.
let's stretch a little bit. A new day is about to begin.
I'm glad that there's like a super positive outlook for Sumeru too compared to some of the other regions. That was really nice. I really enjoyed that character quest. Wow. They did a great job with that. You know, I'm thinking, what time is it? About 2 o'clock. Let's go ahead and do the rest of Nilou's character quest, because we've already done bits and pieces between yesterday's stream and today, like me accidentally running into it immediately like an idiot. Might as well do it, you know? That'll get me caught up on character quests. I might do the world quests and stuff off stream, because the thing is, I don't know, I feel like it's probably not. Like, I've had this one for a while, actually, too. But I just remember how long the Arnara character quest went. And, like, I would not want to do the Arnara character quest on stream. So, I kind of doubt there'd be another one, in all honesty, of that length. But, either way, I'm probably not going to worry about doing world quests on stream unless I don't have anything else to stream. But like I said, it's also hard to get, like, enough, I feel, if I don't want to stream, like, dailies and stuff, you know? And I like to do my events as they come out. Unless I save the events for the entire, you know, at the very end. It's difficult to make some of that stuff work. But, either way, we'll see. Genshin is one of those games that I'd like to just kind of stream every once in a while. But, I really am thinking maybe this weekend we'll go back and finish up Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's just going to be a long stream because I have 4 Ascension quests and I'd like to do some more. I'd like to try out the challenge mode, which I put off.
Mr. Zubair, we're trying to put together a list of
Anyway, back to trying to solve that debate, yeah.
Any ideas?
It won't be difficult to explain our position. They're in the wrong and they know
It's the academia, though.
this theater's affairs for years, and I have abided by every procedure and obtained every permit. I did all of that to protect ourselves if something like this were to occur. I didn't expect them to disregard the rules.
Yeah, it might be specifically because it did send her father out specifically. It might be because she joined us that they're like, oh, now it's personal.
But anyone who's staying at the theater is one of us.
And that's good. To thoroughly look after her.
The theater from outside pressure, then I have failed in my duty as a manager.
Yeah, and Zubair really is a bit...
In summary,
They describe him as being scary. I think he's just very serious.
strict adherence to the rules. At least for now, they don't have the authority to demolish the theater. As long as you double down on that point and force them to concede it, you'll gain an advantage.
Alright, got it.
I've seen many situations like this before.
Yeah.
The academia sure likes to get its nose into everyone's business.
It's just funny, too, like, when you think of what region you want to live in,
Also prepare the theater for potential aftermath. It's best to
yeah,
prepare for the worst.
that's kind of sad. But that is one of those conversations, too. Like, I've had a lot of fun with those kinds of, like, debates. Not like, I don't ever, like, talk about them. It's more just, like, me thinking about them, I guess. But, like, I've seen, like, the one... If you could stay with one nation or, like, the Abyss, you know, and every other one wanted to come after you, to kill you, which would you go with? And I remember for me that answer was actually kind of surprisingly cut and dry. I would pick Inazuma, because so far as we've seen, if you had the Shogun, A, and Yaimika with you in the plane of Euthymia, you, as far as we know, nothing could ever get to you, you know? It's one of those things, like, for me, that debate was always, like, it wasn't about, like, which characters I like, even though Miko is probably my favorite character. It's more of, like, and it's not about, like, which place has the strongest combative capabilities, you know? Because that would arguably be maybe, like, the Harbingers with Shinezhnaya and the Fatui's sheer numbers, or maybe the Adepti. It would be which place is the most defensible. And as far as we know, you know, if we had those 3 with us in the plane of Euthymia, there'd be no reason we'd ever be, you know, nothing could ever get to us. Interesting stuff like that. But, the thought of, like, where you'd want to live is where I was going with this. I wouldn't want to live in Sumeru pre, you know, Archon Quest. But post-Archon Quest, I don't know. Like, Inazuma, much as I like Inazuma, I wouldn't want to live in Inazuma. It's very isolated. It'd be difficult to go anywhere. I think Mondstadt would be nice. I think Leo wouldn't be bad either. It just depends on what you'd want to, like, do with your life, too. Which is those fun things of, like, what vision would you have? I personally am 100% certain I would have an electro-vision, but... You know, stuff like that. I just think it's fun.
Tell our customers that we're canceling all of our shows.
Oh, no.
Do we really have to?
Right now, no one's in the right frame of mind to perform.
That's
I have to
fair.
consider both our staff and our customers. This is the only way. Nilou, you are incredible. With your talent and youth, you had the least to lose out of all of us. And yet you were still the first to take a stand.
I've never thought about leaving your theater, Mr. Zubair. I truly love this place, and I want to keep dancing here. I also want to keep dancing with everyone else.
Really makes you like a what if. I'd love to see certain characters. Oh.
Do your best.
Huh.
We'll do all that we can.
Wonder if he's talking about that. That makes me think he's talking about maybe like his mother, her mother, sorry, or maybe his wife. Something like that. With the way he said that. But, oh, her teacher, never mind. Oh, okay.
But she's retired now.
He made it sound like it was someone that had passed on.
Happy to tell you more about her.
Interesting. Anyway. The theater members, though. I'm confused as to which qualifies as a theater member, because there's 4 people with titles here.
Inaya was right. It's true.
Okay, well, apparently...
Pity or anything, that after all, Nilou was the one. I'd be a terrible person if she knows better than any of us how difficult this path will be.
Okay, I was gonna say, I skipped through that because even though it's voiced, I didn't think that was one of them. Usually it, like, zooms out. She does seem to be one of them, though.
I didn't expect you all to challenge the academia. That
Yeah.
was in my younger years.
Yeah.
Then, I feared nothing and no one, and I was always charging into the most dangerous of places. I can't do things like that anymore, but those were some of the
Wasn't this the lady who was a former adventurer, I want to say?
Sorry. If the theater really ends up getting demolished, then you, Sorin, and Abi will all...
It's all right. There's no need to think such heavy thoughts. Even if the building gets demolished, its people will still all be here. Have faith in the resilience of an adventurer. We can always figure something out.
But won't you have regrets if things just come to an abrupt end? It'd be like when you were forced to stop adventuring.
Well,
So that's
yeah.
what you were worrying
And
about.
many good things in life do have to come to an end, but...
I've had a lot of experience with
Yeah.
regret. Things
Don't
aren't
worry, we know they
always
didn't
reversed
actually
as
close
they
down the
say.
theater.
Time heals all wounds. Look at us now. Serene and Abi are happy. And Serene has also just passed his theater exam. He can start acting soon. He was thrilled because he can soon perform on the same stage as you. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for our past struggles. And would Serene have become a happier person? That's hard to say.
Yeah. There's no way to tell what could have been. And that's one thing I struggle with a lot, is dwelling on what... It's really hard for me to not dwell on that type of thing. If I'd done this, then this could have happened.
Has taught me an important lesson. The most important thing about an experience is how you choose to interpret it.
And Ricard here seems to have a very healthy mindset, genuinely.
Ended with my husband's death. Or I can
Yeah.
choose to believe that it was a blessing in disguise for Serene and Abi. Similarly, even if this theater disappears, a new beginning might just be around the corner.
Well, that's a very optimistic way to put it.
Human-made concepts. It all depends on how we choose to see things.
You have a point.
Nilou, I know how important Zubair Theater is to you. But you don't have to be so nervous. We're all here with you.
Worse if something happened, they could go to Lake Mondstadt, become a traveling caravan.
Thank you, Miss Reiko.
I know that's not the idea,
No
but
need to thank
it's an
me.
idea.
If anything, you inspired me with your bravery. You might have what it takes to become an excellent adventurer.
Yeah. We have adventures that don't even go anywhere, let's be honest. Like,
You're too kind.
we have the adventures good. We've seen, like,
I gotta cheer up. I can't
we've seen some
expect
people
everyone's
do some
voice to
dumb
be
things.
constant.
I'm not talking about, like, our beloved unlucky boy Bennett. I'm talking, like, people doing dumb things.
Good. My children and I will be cheering you on at the debate.
I mean, how many, like, unfortunate events and stuff has happened in Mondstadt, especially because of other adventurers doing things they shouldn't have been done. Is this the other guy?
When the day comes,
No.
I'll get
Okay.
my friends and the theater's customers to come and support. If anything goes wrong, I'll have them scream and shout and drown out whatever Sharif says.
That's how you win a debate. Just get the crowd to
I can't
scream.
do that? Fine, I'll think of something else.
Honestly, that would have been hilarious. I would have loved to see that. Anyway, I'm not sure who, unless it's these two.
No one is allowed. Watch out, Mr. Bad Guy.
Where's the other theater members, huh? Have we talked to this guy? Oh, that's awkward.
Paimon doesn't really want to talk to him.
Well,
You've already developed some prejudice against me.
say, did you have to say that right behind him?
I was just about to put forward a suggestion.
Oh, Paimon will listen to that.
Although I know not if you have a new answer to my previous question. Now seems like an appropriate time to revisit it. What do you think is the meaning?
Oh, it was this guy. Yeah. The guy who was like, not below average, but it's pretty much average. I don't think it's that hard. You just say morale, like. And we're talking in terms of benefit the academia. They probably have taxes or something, you know, monetary.
Does that count as a
Yeah.
meaning?
You answered him so seriously. Careful, Nilou. This guy's ramblings
Paimon,
never make any sense.
please stop antagonizing the man.
No. Nilou's answer.
Okay, never mind. Antagonize the man.
And it is close to my own. The meaning of art comes not from its creators.
Yeah, exactly.
From its audience.
Same thing with music, though. Like,
In other words, only art that can be appreciated by others will impart its essence and value.
well, it could be something you yourself appreciate, but yeah, sure.
This is something that the academia can
Yeah.
never understand.
At least maybe not some of the sages.
I once pursued the mastery of art, much like how a researcher would chase wisdom and knowledge. However, the more of a connoisseur I became, the less I felt I understood. I began to
He's
question what it truly meant for art.
this guy's really trying to get super philosophical, isn't he?
I found that I could comprehend even the most complex and sophisticated of works, and yet somehow that provided me with little solace. I remained even perplexed about this conundrum until I visited this theater and watched one of Nilou's performances.
It was that life-changing?
I mean, Nilou's performances appear to be really, really highly rated.
The actors upon the stage basked in the love of their audience, while those in the house immersed themselves in the wondrous ambiance. In all honesty, from a purely critical point of view, the performances here are...
That is not what you just said.
Hey, don't say something like that.
Yeah, why are you gonna be mean to Nilou?
What me was how, despite the performance's middling quality, they captivated their whole audience. They captivated even me. I realized then that I had walked the wrong road. The mastery of
Well, it's not always about being the very, very best, you know?
I left the so-called frontiers of artistic research.
That's always part of the pursuit, I suppose, but for people to truly enjoy and love the arts and whatever they choose to do in life, you don't have to be the best. Even something like just playing games. For me, it's not important to be like, even if I played like ranked again in games, it's not about being the best, it's how much enjoyment you get out of it. I kind of get where he's coming from, but it's one of those characters that puts it in such an abrasive way that's hard to, that you just want to disagree with him, you know?
Follow the Academia's orders to change our shows for a similar reason. To put it simply, we were afraid that our shows would lose their meaning if people couldn't understand them.
And it's like one of those, you have to cater to your audience, but that's maybe why the Academia members don't quite enjoy them. Because they probably just enjoy like an academic, I don't know, debate even, you know, like if that, instead of a performance.
You already stand upon the finest stage there is, and that is a rare gift that should never be taken for granted. You cannot give it up, not even to the Academia.
And see, this guy's giving like encouragement in his own way.
Thank you for your words of encouragement, Mr. Kasani.
Dust the cobwebs away from the eyes of those scholars.
Really seem to care a lot about the theater.
One customers of the show's being cancelled. Okay.
Once you get to know him, you'll realize that he's actually a big softie at heart. He'll even help out with furniture repair and painting the stage.
Hey guys, the show's canceled. Sorry. That's about how I feel like this conversation's gonna go.
Is the theater actually closing?
He's been worried sick for a while now.
Hmm.
He wouldn't stop talking the whole way back.
Hey, you too.
Just throws him under the bus.
Did someone come down from
It's cool to see some of these repeating NPCs though, that have been around the theater.
Shut down the theater within 30 days, and that it's going to be demolished.
What the heck? That came with no warning.
Well, it came with a 30-day warning, but you know.
Don't tell me you'll have to listen to him.
Come on.
We're gonna have a
I know the
debate.
answer to that.
Yeah, it is a direct order from the academia.
There's no need to worry, though. I'm preparing for a public debate with the academia. If I win, we might be able to overturn things and change their minds.
Really? That's terrific.
We obviously know something's happened, whether it's us winning the debate or fighting something, because we're probably gonna have a trial character moment where we fight something. You just wonder.
Not a fan of the theater's programs?
And I do wonder if any characters not Archons are gonna get a second hero character quest.
Make rash decisions about things they don't even understand, huh?
You would assume probably eventually, but still.
Touch more grass, not books. Exactly. They
What a
will look
line.
down on us. We'll look down on them.
We actually just had an NPC give us the classic "Go touch grass" line.
The academia's recklessness won't get them any praise.
Right. They might think that some forms of knowledge are more valuable than others, but everyone can equally
Well, they're
appreciate
arrogant. They don't want equality.
Believe that?
It's the whole issue with the scholars.
Beat on this subject.
Maybe you can prepare some questions on the details of dance performance to make things harder for them at the debate.
Just sabotage them.
Good idea. Maybe that's something I should do.
Ignore him. He's joking. Just do things your way. No matter what, we will always support you.
Thank you all so much. Your understanding and support make me feel a lot better.
There are always more solutions than problems. If you need help during the debate, just
Yeah.
shout and the entire Grand Bazaar will be at your beck and call.
Gotta show them who has the people's support.
Honestly, though, that is one thing that I've wondered. How, the academia stayed in power to some extent. Specifically because they don't seem to have the support of the vast majority of the people not involved in the actual academia.
Have you seen Miss Inaya?
No, Miss Nilou. Miss Inaya isn't back yet.
Oh? Huh.
Wasn't she just passing on a message? Does she really need this much time?
Yeah, she sounded like she probably has arguments all the time with him.
Oh no.
What?
Traveler, Paimon, I think I've messed up big time. What if Inaya never planned to come back?
Oh. Where would she go? Yeah, you should explain it.
Just a gut feeling, but knowing her, she probably
Eh,
feels like
they
she's
were always at
somehow
odds
responsible
with
for
the
what
academia, to be
happened.
fair.
She probably thinks that all of this happened because she was staying here.
Oh, right. As soon as her father showed up, she said that her father was targeting her. So she's felt like that this whole time.
I get that line of thought, I really do, but at this point the wheel's already in motion, you know?
That's why she ran away from home. She doesn't think that we can win the debate, and she doesn't want to implicate us. So she thought leaving was the best
Yeah.
thing to do.
To be fair, she really... From a reasonable standpoint, that is very fair.
And then she just quietly left afterward.
Exactly. She's being too pessimistic.
Yeah.
How will you know if you don't try?
Optimism.
Anyway, first things first. We have to get her back.
Yeah.
But where should we
So...
start? Sumeru is...
Yeah, I was gonna say, where did she go?
I think I might know. Let's start by looking outside the city. Before I brought her to Zubair Theater, she was staying at a remote campsite. She got a fever from drinking unclean water, so I carried her back. If she has nowhere else to go after leaving the theater, she might go back and strike out on her own again.
Then let's go take a look.
It's Teyvat. We've seen that every time we have to find someone there conveniently being attacked. So... how far did she go? That's a decent distance. Goes back to what I was saying. I mean, obviously we can run that distance in like a minute or two, but if not less. But it makes you wonder how far that actually scales. Like in real life, is the port actually like a... I would think it's not like an entire day's trip because that'd be impractical, but stuff like that. I just wonder what the scale is. Because if you actually measured it to like how long it takes us to run across there, this entire place would be like, a country here would be like 2 miles wide, you know? I want to say, I don't know how long, like, I think a light jog is about like a 9 or 10 minute mile, so... I don't know.
There are signs that someone had stayed here very recently.
Why would you leave all of your equipment behind? And there are a ton of people in Sumeru. Oh.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I heard it too. Let's investigate.
Yep, this is where you get the trial distance. Reach and settle the emergency, huh? These little slingshot things, I genuinely am a huge fan of. I think they did, that is one thing that they did such a good job with the design of exploration in Sumeru. If I'd remembered, I would have switched to a Hydro-Dendro team. But I've been curious too. I'm trying to remember what I use for Nilou. The trial version has 47,000. I think that's more HP than mine does. Yeah. Granted, mine's only level 80. But as always, I think they've used C3. Yeah. Interesting stuff. They do... Noblesse Oblige doesn't sound correct. I don't remember what all I've set up for her, though. Oh, okay, I just had 2-piece Art of Death, 2-piece Tenacity. I mean, she's an HP scaling character. Huh. I do know the scaling on HP growth for the last 10 levels is pretty high, but I feel like I'm kind of low, because... Like... I don't know. I feel like they do... Oh, we can't even view them. That's upsetting. I was curious. But they really do slap... 15,000. They slap Noblesse Oblige on a lot of characters. I think at one point before Xiao's specific artifact set came out, they might have even had it on him, which is hysterical. 8, 8, 11. I do feel like for a character that I'm going to use a decent amount, I gotta like... So for a character I'm just gonna try out, you know, and I happen to pull, I usually go to 6 or 7, even on normal attack. And then for characters that I'm gonna play, I go to like 8, and then for characters that I main, I go to like 10. It's like my Raiden's triple crowned. I think my... Yeah, I have these 2 crowned on her. I'm trying to remember what all crowns I've done. I think my Eula's 10-9-8, or 10-9-10, yeah. And I've been meaning to crown her here. E just isn't as important, I feel, because as much as it is nice, she's physical damage, you know. Kokomi Jellyfish, I want to say, she's only at 6 on these. I kind of want to raise her ult a little bit, actually. It's really good for Heat Healing. I want to say he's... Yeah. A lot of characters, though, because I tend to only have a few main DPS characters that I play, and then I go for that. A lot of times, my characters are skewed towards skill and burst. Kazu is another good example. Trying to remember what my other crowns are, though. I know Hu Tao's triple crowned. I believe... Wait. Yeah, she's triple crowned. Miko is 8-10-10. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times it's normal attack, actually. It's falling behind. Rosaria, is her burst crowned? Yeah, her burst is crowned. I used to play a lot of Rosaria, actually. I don't think... Do I have any other crowns? Like, my only triple crown characters right now are Raiden and Hu Tao, and then eventually Eula. I just really, 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 really hate farming this domain with a passion. It's my least favorite domain in the game. It's not even hard, it's just annoying. Anyway. Yeah, Nilou's definitely meant to be like a Bloom character. Like, that's one of those things, like, it's weird. What, by the way, what weapon do they give her? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Rolling for characters' weapons, though, like, for me has been, like, I don't do it anymore. It's because that's where I've spent the most money on this game. And that's the point at which I'm like, I'm spending too much money on this game, I need to stop, you know? I'm trying to save money so I can focus on my school program for 5 semesters for an accelerated, you know, radiology technician program. I need to not be spending a couple $100, you know, or whatever, for a weapon. So, that or I could just arguably skip characters, but I'd rather have characters than weapons. I had that same issue in Honkai.
I think we have a chance at winning the debate.
You don't just sound so hurt about it, but...
I just thought it
Oh,
would
too much
take
effort.
Too much effort.
Okay.
Everything happened because of me. If I'm gone...
It'll resolve itself with them continuing and just bashing the theater. You might as well come help.
Everyone's working together towards a happier ending. No one should be singled out for blame.
It's alright if it's me. As long as the theater won't
That's
get
tough.
demolished.
That is a very relatable feeling. Not exactly in this exact situation, but like...
Kindest people I've ever met.
I struggle with that. I don't want to bring like misfortune to
Suffer so much because of
the people around me.
Listen to me, Anaya.
You know, would you rather have the people you care about be happy without you?
All of this happened.
Whereas they're not seeing it, you know? And that's the saddest part, is they're not seeing it that way. But I've had trouble with that mentality.
We will protect you. No matter what happens, we'll stand as one.
Nilou.
But Nilou's such a wholesome character.
There will always be a victim. Whether it's me or the theater. You can't eat your cake and have it too.
Yeah, you can. It's just you have it in your stomach.
Win a debate against the academia. Especially since your opponent will be my father.
What, is he like the debate club king?
My father is an extremely demanding man. He's always wanted me to become an exceptional researcher and his academic successor. I tried my best to meet his expectations and did everything I could. But he still wasn't satisfied. Or rather, he had just never been satisfied with me. I'm no genius. But whenever he berated me, it was always as if he was asking me, why aren't you a genius?
Oh.
Yeah, like I'd know.
So
Yeah, that's
why you
harsh.
ran away from home?
Yeah, expectation. It's not bad to want good things for your children, but when you set those expectations so high and stop viewing their own emotions, it's tough.
Stop berating me. For one exam, I earned the 3rd highest score.
And that's good.
I thought
Genuinely.
that all my hard work had finally paid off.
What, did he tell her, why weren't you first?
Finally make father feel some modicum of joy. I even used the embroidery skills I learned at school to make a commemorative gift for him. I thought, even this daughter
That's really
would
sad.
make her father happy sometimes. Right?
I see. When we were embroidering your gift before, I didn't feel like you were new at it.
Yeah. Sorry for not bringing it up. These are not pleasant memories for me. I was tired of him yelling at me every day. All I wanted was to see him smile at me. But he was more angry than ever before once I'd given him my embroidery and told him my score. He flung my present to the side. You think you should be proud of 3rd place?
Yeah, I knew it.
Reflect on why you weren't first. I forgot how long
It's so hard to feel any kind of sympathy or empathy for like 90% of the scholars, though. Because I think I mentioned this last stream. It's like Tainari, even Alhaitham, Sino, like most of the characters that are likable are either no longer affiliated with or not as directly affiliated with the academia.
I didn't get a single sentence of apology or any words of comfort. I've completely given up.
Well, sometimes it's such a cliche answer, but sometimes it takes time.
How horrible.
And sometimes time isn't the answer, but yeah.
I don't think you can beat him in a debate.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even understand what kind of place a theater is. He can never understand the relationship performers have with their audience.
Yeah. The saddest part about all this is it wasn't that he just had to put all that pressure on his child. It's the fact that she went and found something that made her happy, and he's like, nah, we can't have that.
According to his wishes.
Yeah.
As if the world revolves around him. What we cherish, our little place in this world, means nothing to him.
Yeah.
It sounds like your past has had a huge
And
impact on you.
we just have like one character quest though that's just happy. Not everything has to be like sunshines and rainbows, but like, come on.
I heard something quite wise.
Is it even some of my favorite character quests, like the second Raiden Shogun one's got such a sad goodbye to Makoto. We have We have anyway, sorry. We have like Eula's, but Eula's is filled with just the sadness of her being an outcast from both Mondstadt and her clan. Like it's just always sad, but I mean, the Bizarre's crowd's opinion, I don't know if it matters. I feel like usually these just kind of let you click whatever you want until they go. I see his felt kind of like defeated. Hers was like, okay, well sometimes things end. I really did agree with his, as much as I didn't like Ricard himself. Like, let's try this.
The most important thing about an experience is how you choose to interpret it.
Oh. Is that not? I'm still gonna do it.
Miss Raykar has gone through a lot in her life.
Oh, it's Raykar. No, I'm an idiot.
Happy to live at the theater now.
I was thinking about
Although she ran into misfortune, it led her down a new path.
She did run into misfortune. That's
She sees that as a blessing.
yeah.
She told me that the most important thing about an experience is how you choose to interpret it.
Interpret it?
I can sympathize with your unhappiness.
I feel like I was thinking about the last guy we talked to, but I accidentally selected hers, and it was the right answer.
Those unhappy experiences
That's
allowed you to
interesting.
cherish your bonds with everyone.
I'll take it.
Also gave you the opportunity to become friends with
That's
us.
awkward though.
Don't let your past suffering keep you from the new life that you've worked so hard to find.
Oh.
Let the past stay in the past.
This is your new beginning.
When I ran away from
It's
home,
never too late to start again.
I swore that I would leave my family conflicts behind. But you're right.
No. The past does have a way of catching up with you, but still. Nothing wrong with trying to get a new start.
Disappoint him, but that doesn't matter. You have a new future waiting for you. Don't let go of the answer you've worked so hard to find.
That's right. If we put our heads together, there's bound to be a way.
You're right. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not trying to meet his expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
So why should I give up because of him? I can't afford to lose anything more. We have to win. The debate will not only protect Zubair Theater, but also
there you go.
allow me to settle things with Father.
Can you imagine though if we lost the debate? After all of this, like, I know obviously the quest is probably not going to allow us to lose it, but could you imagine? Honestly.
Even if he looks down on us, I know how to make him accept.
Oh yeah, well as one of the scholars, just play on their pride. Are you afraid you'll lose? I swear that's the fastest way. Anyway. Alright, oh, right here.
Take it easy. Well, I'm off to meet with him.
Are we not going with her?
Wait here for me.
Okay, well,
Okay.
you're confident.
Looking forward to your good news. That should be everything. The only thing left to do now is to wait until the debate. I'm not sure why, but I'm getting nervous again.
You were great, Nilou. Your words won over Inaya. Talk like that during the debate, and you'll get an easy win.
Thanks for that,
Yeah.
Paimon. But I still feel like it'll be an uphill battle. I need to be calmer.
We haven't technically broken any actual rule. They're just being the academia. And there's lots of people going for us.
I'm acting as everyone's representative, so I'll need to act brave.
Yeah.
Even if I won't feel like it. Huh? What's left?
What a strange question.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually where they're coming from.
A theater? Why would it need to be anything else?
Wait. You're not asking what the
Oh,
theater
okay.
does, but what it is.
I was about to say, I was like, it doesn't need to be anything else, but that's fair.
How can I put this?
Yeah. Oh. So I doubt it's Rikar's opinion again, because hers was like approaching situations as they are. I really doubt it's Zubair's again. Kasani. So Kasani was that guy. So Naya's will. And Naya's will, I'm split between either the opinion of the crowd for like what it does for them, or his opinion, which also kind of goes about like the fact that they need an audience. I feel like these are very similar, but what it is. I'm so certain it's one of these two.
Everyone is free to appreciate art.
Oh!
No form of art is inherently superior.
Does it... Is that it?
Got it.
Sick. I was gonna guess it was one of those two. I just kind of guessed, but
when
sure.
We were trying to find a way to save the theater, we heard many stories not
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's kind of what I thought he was talking about, though. Art is... Well, he was talking about art not having a meeting without an audience. Whereas the people are talking about what it does for them. So that makes sense, actually. I didn't quite put that together.
In other words, it's like a bond.
The problem is you need to put this in a way that the academia will understand. I don't know if it will.
Inspiration for Mr. Kasani, and enjoyment for the people of the Great Bazaar. It also gives Inaya shelter from her family. It has brought us together after taking care of every single one of us. And its story won't end here. In the future, many more people will come to the theater and receive its blessing. And we'll all be there for them. Our warm, welcoming community will show them the same kindness we were shown in the past. Aside from the delivery of performances, isn't this another reason for Zubair Theater's continued existence?
Yeah, that makes sense. We definitely felt that warmth during the preparations for the event. But Hyman doesn't see how this will help in the debate.
Are we really gonna exploit his relationship with his daughter for this debate? Jeez. I mean, they're being cutthroat. I suppose we could too.
Thank you so much.
Hyman also feels a lot more relieved. Let's show him what we got.
Sorry for the wait. I'm back.
Okay.
Things went a lot more smoothly than I expected. It didn't take long for him to accept the debate. And it's set for 2 days from now. Why are you all smiling so much? Did something good happen?
I suppose.
We realized that your dad might not be as scary as we had thought.
That's not the way I would have put it, but yeah.
We just finished our prep. Rest easy. It will all turn out well. We have to win. No, we will win, Inaya.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Let's do our best. Alright, I'm assuming it's wait 2 days then. Yep, 15 to 1800. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 1500. Yeah, I wasn't expecting, like, I know they've done that before, but I feel like it's almost been more often in Hangout events that you get that little speech bubble-like thing. I remember going through it, I want to say it was Hazo's Hangout event. I really want every 4-star to get a Hangout event, it's just that there's so many 4-stars. Which is, well, I don't know, I feel like, it's weird too, because like in Sumeru, I feel like they've released more 5-stars, but when you think about like what they'd have to work to from here, I guess, is like, almost every 5-star, it feels like, has one. Whereas, to get every other character Hangout event, you know. Yeah, there's actually not that many. I wonder if, like, programming-wise and whatnot, it's harder to get that done. Because, like, we don't have a Hangout event for any of the new Sumeru characters, but we already have story quests for Nilou, Tainari, Sino, and Nahida. I don't know, actually, because there's, like, voice acting for it. But you have to get, like, a domain for the character. I don't know. I do wonder, though. I still don't know which is the fastest travel point to get to this either, though. Now that I think about it, it's probably this one. Because I think you can run around there. I just kind of hit V and run for it.
Hopefully they were helpful.
Man, I really, really want C1 Yelan. It's funny, too, because everyone has the Yelan and Shenhe memes. But they have basically the exact same C1.
Hello and welcome everyone. I am Safwan, a scholar from the
Safwan.
academia, and I will serve as this debate's adjudicator. I swear to judge both parties with the utmost wisdom and impartiality. I will neither interfere with the proceedings
That's
nor
good.
demonstrate bias.
I was wondering about that, but you know.
I ask for both parties to stand. May the Dendro Archon also serve as a witness to this.
You know, funnily enough, at this point of this character quest being released, we hadn't helped Nahida, so kind of ironic that they're saying that.
I will expound on the academia's stance.
Hmm.
You may have misunderstood us from the outset and believe that the academia is prejudiced.
It's because you are.
However, the truth is that the academia wishes for every resident of Sumeru to be afforded opportunities to grow and cultivate their wisdom. Therefore, the works they consume should also possess enlightening qualities and intellectual.
There's other facets of life than just that, you know?
We have failed to identify these qualities in the shows performed at Zubair Theater. In other words, instead of struggling against the academia in pointless confrontations, if you had spent your time reflecting on improving the quality of your shows and enlightening your audience, Zubair Theater.
Yeah, they wanted to just be like an academic regurgitation, I swear.
Aggressive from the get-go. He's really
Yeah.
putting on the pressure. Can Nilou stand her ground?
She'll be fine.
Calm down, Nilou. First, carefully analyze what he said. He said that we were shut down not because the academia looks down
Sometimes
on
because
the
they aren't up to their
because
standards.
our shows aren't up to their standards. However,
Oh, wonderful. See, Inai as well, I feel like is probably going to be that close heavy hitter, like closing argument based on his weak point, right? So I doubt. Well, that's assuming it's the same 6. I think in the previous, sometimes they've changed. I don't think it's, again, I don't think it's Zubair's opinion. I want to say.
don't think that would make.
Okay, never mind. It's not Kasani because he's like, oh, their performance itself was middling. That's not it. That was more of like an empathetical thing, so I don't think that's it. I guess that just leaves Grand Bazaar's opinion, right? Because if this is closing, it's not that. Yeah, is that?
In your
Sick.
eyes,
Okay.
our shows can't meet the academia's expectations.
But they meet the people's.
Shouldn't it be the audience who decides if a show is intellectual or enlightening?
To be fair, we haven't seen, apart from like her dances, what the actual shows are. They could be exactly that.
Such thing as a wiser or more enlightening performance. Art doesn't discriminate, and it appeals to all. Everyone has the right to appreciate art.
Appreciation is but a primitive form of satisfaction. Guidance and enlightenment are necessary if we are to induce growth in the performers as well as the audience. This stance holds performers to a higher standard and encourages the development of the arts. If all performances are simple-minded, require little effort to comprehend, and lack any impetus for the betterment of society, then the people will not be able to develop.
So their whole stance, though, it seems like, is like, oh, well, it has to be beneficial. It can't just be for the enjoyment of it. Which is dumb, but, you know.
An arduous process. And guiding this process is the academia's true goal.
Change the topic without batting an eye.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm prepared. If I remember correctly,
What I should say here is... Oh, they do give you the same options. I swear they were different in some of these. Well, I doubt it's that again. Imagine if we just told them the same thing. Again, I really doubt that it's this. Well, he's talking about, like, the intellectual stimulation. Which, again, this is more an empathetic one, I feel. This is... I don't really know how to describe it, but I don't think it's these two. It's obviously not that because it was just that. I still think this has to be a closing argument. I'd be super surprised if this wasn't the last thing we said. So it's either value of the theater's existence or his opinion. I'm gonna go with this. Oh.
Someone at our theater has tried that before. He was a famed artist, but he recognized that very
Oh,
few
yeah.
people
Okay,
could
yeah.
connect
That
with
makes
his
sense.
works.
I was just thinking along the lines of they talked about similar things that should be more complicated and pursue the mastery.
Complicated
But still.
works. If a work can't tap into an audience's personal experiences or feelings, then its contents may as well be a castle in the sky.
I mean, that sounds pretty neat, but yeah.
Performing a show that its audience can't even follow. That would only be forcing people to watch something they don't like.
Like an infomercial.
You can only reach that conclusion from a place of ignorance.
In that case,
This is the people who locked up their own Archon.
you should first become a better dancer than me.
You tell them, Nilou.
Looks like he's backed himself into a corner.
As the party holding the burden of proof, Sharif has failed to provide sufficient support for his judgment of the quality of Zubair Theater's programs.
Thank goodness Saffron's actually impartial.
Is but her personal opinion.
Oh, well.
Neither party is the victor for this particular point of contention.
He's still, you know, technically, I suppose. I felt like we won that part.
Both parties exercise greater control on their emotions.
Keep it up, Nilou! You're doing great!
In that case, I shall speak of more concrete matters.
You have violated the law. That has to be Zubair's. That has to be Zubair's, because Zubair specifically says we haven't broken the law.
This course of action is also completely procedurally sound. We have already contacted Zubair Theater multiple times regarding the theater's repertoire. However, you have consciously ignored our warnings, or perhaps your compliance was purely superficial. Regardless, that failure has indirectly led to the present day's proceedings.
Your compliance is completely superficial. I feel like that's everyone, though.
According to the laws decreed by the Academia.
He started talking about procedural stuff, so I need to...
This has to be Zubair's. There's no way it's not. I would bet, like, $20 on this. Aha!
Mr. Zubair has already provided signed copies of all documentation related to our operations. Everything is perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Zubair specifically said I haven't broken any of the laws.
Performances don't align with the Academia's requests. The law doesn't say that Zubair Theater can be demolished only because of that reason. Demolition notices need to be provided in writing and made available to the public. Otherwise, the theater can continue to operate.
They shot themselves in their own feet by not going through their own procedures.
Makes your stance procedurally unsound.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
There are different
he's starting to stutter.
Rules. There is precedent for this. So long as this matter is discussed within the Academia, this course of action will come to pass.
It doesn't have to be right now, though.
Past 27 cases of similar nature, 90% of them support Sharif's claim and position.
90% is not 100%.
The process in those cases was only started after discussion at the Academia. In other words, premature notice of demolition is indeed a rash act.
That's more than enough. We've proven that the order is unreasonable as it currently stands.
Is that the end of the debate?
Cease your futile resistance.
That is kind of just putting off the supposed inevitable, but yeah. This is where we hit him in the feelings with his daughters.
Permission for demolition
Surely,
has yet
right?
to be obtained. It is a fact that your performances violated the Academia's policies on numerous occasions. Based on that fact, we can permanently revoke your right to perform in Sumeru.
Oh, that's not going to go over well with the people.
Under the current system, it is indeed possible to immediately revoke Zubair Theater's performing rights.
That's a thing?
Yeah, that's his backup plan.
Rather than protecting Zubair Theater, I surmise that your true intention is to maintain your hold over your audience and their patronage as your source of income.
It's not just about that.
Zubair Theater is nothing more than an empty building. And without its performances, the theater has nothing.
That goes back to the thought of, like, you have to have an audience.
That isn't true at all.
But, yeah.
Keep it cool, Nilou.
Yeah.
Right. I need to keep calm. But he...
Okay. So...
Just a little more.
Just not a performance venue to us.
Just a performance venue to us.
Okay. Well, it's not... Oh, it's got to be value, right? I was about to say, it's obviously not these three. This is where we talk about, like, the bonds that we created. We were just talking about that. I think Anaya's will also feels like a sub point of that. But I'm pretty sure this is value of the theater's existence, because she's talking about, like, this is how we support these people, yes, financially, but it's like how this person pursues this ambition. It's how this person does this. That's got to be what that is, right? Oh, nice. I feel like I'm doing better with this one. I think when I did Hazel's, I got it wrong like 90% of the time. And just started clicking on random things. Yeah, exactly. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, that allows him to... Yeah.
Passed his theater exam, and he'll soon be our newest member. Mr. Kasani found a new way to look at art. He decided to stay at the theater to watch us grow. Mr. Farhad and Mr. Hushang visit even when there isn't a show going on, and they always tell us lots of entertaining stories. Even Inaya wants to stay with us, and she's starting to look forward to a new future. Zubair Theater exists for them, for every single one of us.
Perhaps Zubair Theater has provided you with a multitude of positive emotions and experiences. However, you have misconstrued something, young miss.
Oh.
The interpersonal relationships you speak of were established upon normal theater operations. Sheikh Zubair operates the theater for his livelihood. His employees work for their wages.
And what's wrong with that?
Comes to enjoy performances. Relationships are merely a byproduct in this exchange.
So, it's a happy coincidence.
Captivating, but they can only ever be secondary. When scholars collaborate to solve difficult problems, we freely share our knowledge and resources with one another as if we were all kin.
This is how he tells himself he has friends.
However, this collaboration ends after the results of our work are published. The reason is simple.
Well, they've made lasting bonds. Even if Zubair Theater was shut down, you know they'd still support each other. And that's the difference, yeah. I'm surprised he did do prep, actually. I thought it was just going to be the arrogant academia thing.
For this point of contention, the continuance of the interpersonal relationships Nilou spoke of remains hypothetical before the theater's demolition, whereas the situation that Sharif described has been well documented at the academia.
Except he's comparing apple to oranges. Yeah, but showing like research's ability and how they work on projects to a theater is not the same thing. It's not a one-to-one comparison. Well, this is what I was talking about. I think she's setting him up so that she can knock him down with Inaya's thing, because that seems like a sub-point to that.
So Nilou's got him? Good. He said what he said. The next argument could decide this debate.
Yep.
But is this really the best thing to do? It might be too cruel
Well,
to Inaya.
she did say she wanted us to win the debate, so... Oh, we don't even get a choice. Now I think about it, who is it? Ricard? The one I keep saying is like the empathy one? We never did use. But I guess that makes sense against the opponent in this discussion. That's kind of funny. We don't even get the choice to try something else.
She already agreed to this.
But I knew it. That was going to be the last counterpoint. I knew it.
No matter what. Me too. Mr. Sharif believes that interpersonal relationships are a byproduct of working towards a goal. Once that goal is achieved or abandoned, those relationships would have no more reason to continue. Then, if someone has failed to live up to his expectations...
If someone has failed to live up to your expectations and ran away from home, then she shouldn't be your daughter anymore, right?
Is that what she was actually going to say? Because that is kind of messed up. It's good that she stepped in.
As expected, I should be the one to say it. You don't need to shoulder this responsibility for me.
Oh. That's tough, dude.
In your eyes, the purpose of my existence is to become your academic successor. Then that goal has ended in complete failure. By your logic, that means there is no more reason to sustain our relationship as father and daughter.
Members of the audience who do not belong to either debate party, please speak.
Doesn't she technically belong to our debate party? Yeah.
What she does not say, Nilou will.
Yeah.
No matter how many disagreements we've had, the truth is that you are still my father. You're so immersed in your own world, you can't understand why we come together for the sake of relationships.
Yeah, don't look down on us.
You can watch a dance anywhere, but there's only one Zubair Theater.
I'm almost starting to feel sorry for this guy, what with the idiotic things he said.
Zubair.
Order!
Oh my gosh.
Audience, do not interrupt debate proceedings.
I confess that this is the final argument we had prepared. Disown me, and you will win the debate. But before that, Father, I have some final words to say. I've been doing some soul searching. Not about whether I should have run away from home, but whether there was any point to my personal
She was clearly
rebellion
not
against
happy
you.
with doing what he was forcing her to do. So there was, in my opinion.
I kept trying to earn your approval, but I only disappointed you over and over. The truth is, I ran away from home as a means to vent my recurring frustrations. That is to say, I was exerting pressure on you and hoping you'd give up on your lofty expectations. But by doing that, wasn't I just doing the same thing as you? I won't force my expectations upon you anymore. At Zubair Theater, I have found the life I've always wanted. I will move on from my family troubles and strive towards my new goal. But if you dare to harm this place, then I will stand with my friends here and fight against you.
This is not the time to space out, Sharif.
Oh.
The debate is still underway.
You already consider them to be your friends.
Yeah.
Asking us that question.
Of course we are.
Zubair stuff. I don't know why, but it just gets me every time.
It was a bit of a process, but we won her over.
Make no mistake. All those who come to Zubair Theater become one of us. We will always be with her.
Such puerile simplicity. However, it is surprisingly a relief.
That's good.
Wait, what are you...
Well, if you step off like that means you lose. We won. We really didn't do much fighting in terms of... Like, this feels like it's almost the end of the character quest. There would be no point to do, like, a domain. We did not fight with Nilou very often. We got to try her for, like, 2 waves of enemies. Or, like, 3 enemies. Everyone's so stunned. Jeez. Yep. You did both. Both did really well.
I relaxed for a moment and...
Yeah.
A little faint.
No, that's fair.
It looks like he still has a place for her in his heart.
Terrific work, Nilou and Anaya. They likely won't cause any more trouble for us.
Well, unless another member of the Academia shows up, but sure.
I have a lot of newfound respect for you two.
This really took a lot out of me, though. I don't ever want to do this again.
Both Miss Nilou and Miss Anaya were so cool!
Should we throw a second round of celebrations?
That was wholesome. That was really wholesome. Where are we? Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close. I guess we did do a good chunk of it. But this, it might genuinely be because we did part of it yesterday on accident, but this did feel like a pretty short character quest. But it was nice. It was very wholesome. And I mean, there were the heartstrings of, like, you know, those moments of, like, a father having too much, or, like, a parent having too high expectations, obviously, but other than that, right after a summon, like, can I just have a wholesome one? That was pretty wholesome. Yeah.
I see.
I have wondered that, actually.
Brought me to the theater, right? Then I'll have to tell you about my teacher, who Mr. Zubair.
All right, yeah. I'd already forgotten that they mentioned her teacher.
Mr. Zubair opened his theater when I was still a child. There was a beautiful dancer, and from the moment I saw her, I couldn't look away. I thought to myself, the gods must have blessed her with such talent.
But that Shintotoro's hard work.
But later on, she would actually smile down at me and say, just the opposite, in fact. Yeah. She said, dance is an art born from toil.
That's the same thing with music. And I've been told art. I can't draw at all. But I'm often told all you have to do is start trying.
Born from our life experiences.
And having a good teacher is a really big help too, to be fair.
People will dance. In other words, any place where people can effortlessly begin a dance will for sure be filled with the blessings of everyone's happiness.
Me dancing does not bring anyone happiness. It looks so dumb.
All she wanted was to see her audience smile.
That's good. That's been a recurring theme about this one. And I can really connect with that. Not obviously in the dancing part, but the music part.
I was completely moved by what she had said, so I started taking dance lessons from her. And later on, I began to dance.
I wonder what happened to her teacher, though. Like,
she told me
they're saying like she retired, like she's just retired, but yeah. On the other hand, the way they talked about her in the past tense, I thought she was dead. Especially after coming from the Nahida quest. So, who knows?
a whole lot of trouble. Thankfully, everything worked out in the end. Although I do have a small regret. Yeah.
She's on the
Even though she has already decided to start
yeah.
fighting with her
Well, they're on the path towards maybe reconciliation.
real conversation with each other.
The fact that her father reacted in the way he did, yeah, I think shows that there's potential there, which is good.
He probably has a lot of things he wants to say. But will now perhaps never
Well, maybe not, I guess, based on what they're saying, but who knows?
But I still hope that things can change.
And sad as it is, sometimes cutting off ties is the answer you have to go with, but who knows? Are we really having this conversation right next to her, by the way? Is she not just listening to this?
Next time, you might see Naya on the stage.
Are you still worried about Inaya?
Wait for the debate. Wait,
Sure to come back often.
I thought we won the debate. Okay, 2200, or it was 2000 2 days later? Oh, I can't go that far. I'm confused. I thought we just won the debate. I also feel like it's such a small thing because it only takes like 10 seconds, but am I the only one that feels like this takes unnecessarily long? I get that it's literally skipping 2 days, but I just... I've had that thought many times before, and I'm like, oh, why do I feel that way? It only takes like 10 seconds. And I'm like, this feels like I'm just sitting here watching a clock move for a long time. Oh. Anyway. Why did it say wait for the debate? This is not the debate, this is the performance. Unless I misread it. That is possible, I suppose. I like Nilou. I very much doubt I will ever have a character that I like more than Miko. Because Yai Sakura was like my favorite Honkai character. But, and I tend to like similar characters, but like it's the same thing. Like there's other characters I really like. Like I really like Team Echo. I'm really excited to see the design of the God of War Pyro Archon because she's supposed to be based off Team Echo. Super excited for that actually. Even though it's probably like a year or two out.
When you stop and think about it, happy endings like this sure aren't easy to come by.
Yeah.
Nilou's efforts, everyone's wisdom, Inaya's determination.
And yeah, I suppose we could go with that. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is true. Even if she said like, "Oh, I know how to make him agree to it," he didn't technically have to. And he said that's a relief, like he was trying to find some proof of it.
Thing was going overboard, but he really could have banned Nilou and the others from dancing.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to be ruthless, he could have done some real damage, even without winning the debate. Oh well, it's not like we can understand how people like him think.
Yeah.
Let's focus on watching the performance.
Yep.
Huh? Wait, look who the cat dragged in!
Oh.
Isn't that Inaya's father?
Are we really going to? I was about to say, let's leave him alone.
Oh, it's you two.
Oh, it's you.
I don't have much to
Don't
do
be like
today,
that.
So I just came to look around this place.
Are you looking for Inaya?
No, I am simply here to
Yeah.
watch a performance.
That's good.
There is no need to trouble her. Well, I was for a time. My loss at the debate caused quite the loss of face for the academia, so there was a period
Yeah, that's what I was thinking though. If he got in trouble for that and he's deposed from a point of power, imagine if the next person does it.
Otherwise, the rumors would probably persist for even longer.
I feel like the fact that he had to take a leave from that though would make it last longer than if he just kept going on as though nothing happened.
I
Oh,
now have an abundance of time, so I can afford to come here and watch a show.
they straight up fired him. I thought.
admit that I do not understand.
Well, I guess no. If he's on leave, it's technically yes, temporary unemployment.
My curiosity has been piqued.
Hmm.
I still
Okay.
cannot forget that young lady's perseverance.
Hmm.
Inaya would almost certainly mature in the presence of such a person.
Which is weird because it's one of those height doesn't equate to age. It's like a big thing. Like I know, what's a good example? I guess the first one, maybe Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. Like height does not equate to age, but I did get the feeling that Inaya was older than Nilou. But I don't know. I don't know how to pin down age of characters. Like, Genshin's a weird one for that because obviously you have like the Archons that are hundreds or thousands of years old. But I feel like a good number of characters, like, I think Hu Tao's, like, 19, 20, but I know Fischl and, I want to say, like, Fischl and Bennett are, like, 16. I don't know, really. That's a big thing that I know has been a debate in Genshin, is the age of characters, but I feel like that's always a debate with stuff like that. But, I don't know, that's just a weird thought I had, but for some reason, it just felt to me like design-wise. Maybe that's just me.
There are no parents who do not worry.
I mean, I have friends who are younger than me that are taller than me. But I'm also not that tall. I'm like 5'8". So.
Never mind. I
Who
do
knows?
not have the right to say that.
I think you. Well.
You're already here, so you might as well go see her.
No, that is not necessary.
Okay.
I will take my leave after the show.
Sometimes changes don't have to be like that, though. It can just be a slow but gradual change.
Do not tell her that I was here.
It's a slow but gradual change.
Who knows if you'll get a chance like this again?
Oh.
But
Never mind.
you said you were going to make peace with your past. Show your father how much you've grown.
And these types of cutscenes look really good, by the way. Like,
Don't be nervous.
there's always one in character quest, I feel.
Zubair Theater has your back.
Now that I think about it, she's not actually that much shorter. It's like a tiny bit, but still.
Hey, let's go somewhere else. We should give them some space.
You sure they'll be okay?
I don't know, but I think we should have faith in them.
Yes, Inaya. I have something for you. I'm still learning. It's hardly a masterpiece.
Oh.
But it's yours. If you
That's really sweet, actually.
You don't have to take it. It's fine. Never mind.
Let's have a heart-to-heart, Father.
There you go. Baby steps, baby steps.
Like father, like daughter. They're both so awkward with their feelings.
That was actually surprisingly wholesome.
She probably would have snuck away as well.
Even if it's in like a game or something, seeing broken bridges like that be mended is always nice.
Do you think they'll be able to reconcile?
I'm not
Maybe,
sure.
maybe.
A complete reconciliation may also not be the best thing for them right now. All those years of arguments and misunderstandings can't be settled overnight. It might be best if they continue to keep some distance for now. But no matter where their hearts and bodies may be, they will always be family. All I wish for them is to be able to one day tap into the warmth of that bond.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, everyone's really thankful to you for helping out with the debate.
Well, we are the famous traveler after all. We do
Hope you'll like it.
the most random things sometimes, but... Oh, nice. It's a little... Is that like a little miniature stage?
Isn't this Zubair Theater? Whoa! This is amazing! It's so detailed and polished!
We've also never made anything this complicated before.
Oh,
Mr.
Nice.
Zubair and Mr. Kasani took charge of the design, while Inaya and I made all the little pieces with the help of others. Miss Reykar and Miss Nadia made and assembled the
I wonder if it's just like one of those little collectibles or if it's like a teapot thing.
As adventurers,
Um,
you two will
I only say that because I know you have like, aren't there like stage-like things in the teapot? I want to say.
we hope that your time at Zubair Theater will become a fond memory of your journey.
Granted, I feel like a lot of quests, they just give you like a collectible. And it says here you have this.
We'll come back and watch you dance whenever we get the chance.
You're welcome. And there's no need to be so polite. You learned fast. Come on, take it. This is the story of you and me. It's a tale that I'll never, ever forget.
That was really wholesome. I enjoyed that. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I wanted to see what that was. So was it a, Okay, so it's not one of these. Like the, like these gold ones are all from Archon Quest, I believe. Oh, I guess that's the thing. But, like these ones that you get that you can't do anything with. Is it actually a teapot thing, though? Teapot. It was purple. These are not organized by color. Okay, I don't even know what it'd count as. This is what I'm saying, is like, I guess it's not a stage, but you have like large buildings like this, but they said it was like a miniature thing, so maybe it's not. Oh, wait. Yeah, miniature Zubair Theater. Huh. I wonder how big it is. Genuinely. I don't really decorate my teapot to look nice. I just throw in enough stuff that it is max size. Or max, what's it called? Whatever the method is for it. So that you can get the free coins and stuff. As well as there's achievements for getting like max rank in 3 realms. But I know we actually did get another realm layout for Sumeru, so I've been meaning to check that out. But I'm not one to like decorate teapot. I've seen people do really, really cool stuff with that. But either way, guys, I'm probably gonna go ahead and end the stream there. Like I was saying, I do want to get some other stuff done this weekend. I still have to, I got like my oil change and some other stuff last night, which is nice. But, I do have some other things I want to take care of, and then I have my work week. But for next weekend, like I was saying, it probably won't be Genshin. I'm really leaning towards Xenoblade or roguelike. I'll probably decide then. It'll either be right now with my work schedule and everything. I want to eventually get to the point where I'm like used to my job enough, because it is a very physical job. I drive trucks for a lumber company. It is a very tiring job with long hours, but it pays well. And like I said, I'm trying to save money so I can get into my college program and not have to worry about working except in the summers. That's my goal right now, how I'm trying to achieve it. So eventually I want to start maybe doing shorter streams during the week once or twice. But for a little bit, it'll probably just be on weekends unless I have a day off. So yeah, either Saturday or Sunday or both. I'll stream next, but it'll be, not during the weekday for a bit. But either way, guys, I will catch you later. Bye.